All right, Perry. I'll say good night. We'll see you on Sunday. Okay.
Good night. Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
I'm turning off the computer. I'm actually restarting the computer. Okay?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, computer restart.
Just don't throw away the vodka. I want to save that and keep this
God,
cocktail
no,
going.
I'm not throwing that away.
Okay, good.
No. Good
All
night.
right, we'll take a drink. You want to take a drink
Restart.
now? You want to take a drink now?
No, no, no. I'll wait till you get here.
Okay, fair enough.
Bye. I'm going to take this garbage out to the dumpster.
Okay, it was a good stream, Perry. Good night. You did good tonight.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
You got it. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Well, that was a good stream. Yeah, he was kind of in a rush to get out, but I will say, for some reason, there was so many offers. I couldn't. I got to as many as I could, but man, I'm gonna have to do some mailbag on Sunday to fill in the gaps because I know we didn't get to too many. Was there a McDonald's pie in that McDonald's bag? I don't think there was. Oh, you mean the pie, right, the taped pie, right. Yeah, no, he didn't see that. I think it's just become part of the part of the wall, like the kimchi or whatever, you know. Yes, the AC egg lives on. We'll see how that fares. I'm have to do an egg hunt when I go there. I think I might want to shop vac the what's ever in his couch because I'm just petrified of what's underneath that couch. But unless you guys want to keep it there for in perpetuity, I was planning on at least looking under to see what was there. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, God, the creativity is off the charts with you guys. Just so many good ones. So many good ones. I mean, they just got. I mean, it's just really good. Really good. I'm good, Cha-Cha. How are you? I'm actually really hungry. I actually might get something to eat, even though it's pouring rain. Like, for whatever reason, that quarter pounder did it for me. I was starving looking at that. Yeah, I think the blood. I thought the blood was still there too, but then again, you know, I don't know. He said he threw it. You know, he poured it down. I mean, again, that's the risk of sending him stuff like that. You know, it's so hard to control when he gets up and goes into that kitchen. Yeah, you think he needs to get rid of stuff? Dad's doing okay. Thanks, Cha-Cha, for asking. He has good and bad days. I took him for an MRI the other day, which is never fun. You never want to do that. So they're still trying to figure it out, what's going on with him. His numbers are up and down, blood pressure wise. He still doesn't know what's going on. I mean, his doctor's convinced that this will run its course, but thanks for asking. I'll pass that on to him. Yeah, what was the blood too? I don't even know what the blood was. It was just animal blood, or I don't know, because he didn't show the label or anything. Yeah, he put it on the chair, but then I think it went somewhere else. But we'd be here all night if we really grilled him on it. But if he says he put it down the garbage disposal, I would agree with that. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Beef blood, okay. My dad has really no idea who Perry is. He has a vague idea. He has a vague idea of what this is, but he doesn't really know. He doesn't know who Perry is. This is not his jam, to put it mildly. All right. I think we're gonna call it a night, and we'll reconvene on Sunday. But thanks for again all the contributions, all the offers. They were amazing. What am I wearing, Faster Blade? I'm wearing a T-shirt that's probably seen better days. It's very comfortable. It's weird. God, I know we all can say the same thing, but I've put on so much weight over the past, however long it's been since I've not been at a gym and just kind of eating whatever I want. And man, it's like the T-shirts I was wearing this time last year, which were like mediums and some larges. They don't cut it anymore, so I've had to resort to old bed shirts and shit. So I'm not Perry size, but I definitely need to drop a good, I'd say 30 pounds, because I was in such great shape leading up to last year. So I think we're all in the same boat. But yeah, it's I think it's a common thing. TomB, I own a pizza shop. If I sent him a make-it-yourself pizza and I sent an offer, could he make a pizza on stream? I mean, maybe, but I think that would be, geez. You see what it's like when he's in the kitchen. You can't see him or anything like that. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe. It depends on how easy it is to do. But I if it's something he could prep, maybe we get at the TV tray and he preps it in front of the camera and then brings it over to the end. But he gets so stubborn and indignant when we ask him to do kitchen stuff. No, I'm doing it my way. It's oh no, Perry, do it here. No, I'm doing it in the kitchen. Fuck you. So we'll see, maybe, but I wouldn't kick that idea out of bed. Maybe. Yeah, Dank. My dad's doing mostly okay. He has his good days and bad days, and I think, again, it comes down to he's a guy that's always been healthy, always been in great shape. He's always the guy out of all of his friends that looks younger, feels younger, and it's confusing when you're that age, and then all of a sudden something is wrong and off, and I think that's what it is. I think he's upset about that more than anything else. And again, nobody really knows what's exactly going on, so that's what it is. Not to dwell on it, but I appreciate all the nice comments that people have said about it. Hope I have a good feeling that things will be okay. It's just it's a process that we got to go through. Yeah, he did. He cracked me up when he sounded like the Dukes of Hazzard guy. Yeah, he did do a little Dukes of Hazzard there for a bit. I gotta say, Belushi Sushi says it right. He says, Tom enjoyed the Shop Vac Cannon more than anyone. I was having so much fun. It's not often that I can enjoy things from a thing. I swear to God, I could have spent all night doing that. Just shooting stuff out of the Shop Vac, the marshmallows and I want to put so much stuff in there. I don't see. It crosses a little bit of a line. I don't want to go in there and just run wild. Because I don't. That's not my role. And I don't want him to come charging at me, but man, do I want to load that up with a cucumber and stuff and just see, with his permission, of course. But I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted to use the Shop Vac. I really do. I want to see that thing in person. It's like meeting a celebrity at this point. I was thinking about this today because I was looking at his ring cam because he got that delivery early, and I was wondering, does he have that on? On his ring cam? And I noticed all these people that walk back and forth on the ring cam. There's a woman who walks her dog. There's all this is across the whole neighborhood. And when I go there and I see all these people that I see in the ring camera all the time, I'm going to be starstruck a little bit. It'll be weird. But I definitely want to meet Trevor for sure. And fuck. Let me see here. I know Gary put together this nice compilation, and just to Maybe I'll do that on Sunday, but the ring is back. It's charged. It's just really weird. It's really weird when I show it on the stream, because I port through the Windows app of Ring, which they don't really support anymore. But I also have it running on my tablet, which is the one that records for the archive, and then I pull that one for the YouTube versions. So they're okay, but for some reason it just craps out when it's when you need to. But yeah, I did like the. That's one of the few things I'm I'm looking forward to, is seeing the shop vac. But yeah, so Garrett had these videos, and I agree, he does do great work, and he had these videos at the ready, and I just didn't. It was either watch the videos or do the plank thing, and I went with the plank thing, because I just, we had caught up, and I didn't want to push it. Oh, did he really? Here it says he shop vac the red sash from his costume. Yet didn't he get it back? Like I said, I love that costume, by the way. I thought that was great. I'm just closing this out here. Yeah, there's always Sunday. We'll do Sunday. Yeah, and it's the thing, Belushi Sushi says it's going to be weird when Tom's there, things not taking 35 minutes. I don't think I can. I don't know if I'm going to be there all 3 days when I'm out there. So I'm going to be there for Wednesday's stream, Friday's stream, and Sunday's stream next week. And I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know. Maybe I will, but it's gonna be a long fucking day, because I got to go there. Then I got other stuff to do there too. And then we do the stream. So I think I'll definitely do it Friday and probably Sunday. So I'm iffy on Wednesday, but maybe I will. I gotta figure out the logistics. Yeah, it's raining. I don't know if that's coming out. Yeah, it's been raining all night. I was actually worried early on that the power might go out. But yeah, it's pouring out. It's pouring out. I'll open the window a little bit. You can hear it. Yeah, it's been pouring all stream, which is nice, because it was actually it was really hot the past couple of nights in here. It was blazing hot. I've been to the New Beverly Cinema. I was there last year. I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood there, right around like February last year. I'd like to go again. I don't know if I could squeeze it in. I saw they put out their new schedule. I'd love to see Once Upon in Hollywood and again, but I don't know if I could fit it in. But yeah, I would love. Yeah, it sucks that it's supposed to rain all weekend. It's like Labor Day weekend, so it's shitty. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to mess with it. I really it's not my place to mess with him really, and I don't want to do that. But I'm going to be so tempted when I'm in there to play with the shop vac. Can we give Tom tips to do crazy shit whenever Perry's like, that's. I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna do anything insane. I don't want him charging at me. And I think anything that's an offer that comes in has to be something that he agrees to. So I think he has to agree to it rather, because it'd be weird. Like I can't go in there with a baseball bat and start smashing his microwave, because that would just be weird. And I want to stay away from like, I don't know. Oh, I'll let you know if I go to the New Beverly, if you're down the block. Yeah, I'd like to go. I really like that theater. And I love the movies they run. So yeah, if there's a day I can go, I would love to. But most like I get in Tuesday kind of late, and I'm going out Tuesday night with a friend of mine, and then Wednesday, the next day, we have a stream. And then Thursday, I have plans with a friend at night, and I got to do Perry stuff during the day. And Friday's another stream. Saturday we got the shoot. Sunday's another stream. So maybe if we do it early enough Sunday, maybe I can have Sunday night free. But I would like to go. But anyway, yeah, when I'm in there, it's like I don't want to like do anything crazy. Like I'll tell you what, like to be honest with you guys, was it last Wednesday? And I forgot how much money came in for him to taste the dog food. But I didn't like that. I like even though he did it and it was fine. I think he got paid $250 for it or whatever. But I felt dirty after it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the because I don't want to do anything mean spirited. I don't want to do anything demeaning. Push it to a certain extent. But I don't know what I can. I'm going to be limited to what I can do in there. You know what I mean? It's like, and there's times where things were so bad for so long with him. So when like an offer comes in that's like good money, I will take it because I think about where we were, in dire straits. So the thing with the dog food, I thought it was a good idea at the time, but then like even as he was down, I was like, this is not the road I want to go down. So it's a learning thing, It's like we learn as we go, and I think we've learned from mistakes, and I'm not gonna do anything like that again, and it's there's a lot of examples I can give, like things that didn't work or things that I just didn't like the way they turned out, and like I don't like Belushi sushi. I don't like stuff with his mom either. That's not as much though. That's not as much. I'm not saying the dog food was horrible. You got to look at it as an outsider looking in. Like somebody new tuning in, and you're seeing like this guy who clearly doesn't want to do something, and this other guy talking to him, convincing him to eat it. Now look, he did get paid. He did get paid for it, but I just think it's a little over the line, and it's hard for me to judge that in the moment when there's money on the table. And again, going back to you guys have a little bit of idea maybe, but just how bad things were for the past 4 years. And so I'm like, oh my God, can't turn this down. But that's something if I can go back to it, I would have turned it down. But I would absolutely do that too. By the way, my hands on the table. I would take a bite out of it for $250 for sure. For sure. But yeah, so I don't like to do anything like, mean spirited or dehumanizing, or like, what's the right word? But it's why I like the shop vac stuff. I like the egg stuff. I like the, I like stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. It's just something I wouldn't do again, and it's something that I didn't feel great about afterwards. If I'm being honest, that's just me being honest. Yeah, it's on credenza. You could see it. It's on credenza level. It was from last Wednesday. Yeah, I like the wacky stuff. Like the stuff like some people do stuff like with the mechanic stuff. Like that's, we have that word blocked anyway. But again, it's the fun. Amy stuff, Dizek stuff like that's funny, and entertaining. But I don't want to ever put him in harm's way. That's why I'm never, I'm not gonna have him drink out of it. I mean, I may say it, like, oh, X amount of dollars to drink out of your toilet or whatever, but I would never allow him to do that. There's definitely a line that I try to follow, and I don't always do a great job, but I do learn from missteps. I would like to think going forward. I would love to turn the shop back into an egg cannon. That would be great. Yeah, he has health checkups. He's due for one. The last one he had was January, and they said, they gave him the advice that any doctor would give anybody: you need to lose some weight. But obviously that hasn't happened. Yeah, that's the thing, is you don't want it to get exploited. You don't want to exploit things. And it's tough. I'm not crazy excited about going to LA because I'm just not crazy about traveling anywhere right now because I have so much going on at home. Not to like, I got stuff with my dad going on, obviously, and I'm moving at the end of June. There's so many things I got to do, so it's bad timing for me. I actually tried to see if we could get it done in July, but that couldn't happen. Like, July would have been easier for me, but so I'm looking forward to some regards. I do like LA when it's not. Okay, I gotta close this window. Hold on, this is getting a little. I'm looking to try different food. While I'm on my fat guy tour, I plan to get in shape this summer. But I want to definitely have some good meals. I want to try some food. I want to. The hotel I'm staying at has a pool. I hope it's open. And I have good friends in LA that I don't get to see that much. And one of my best friends is in San Diego, Robert, who sometimes pops up on the stream, and he's gonna come up, and then we're gonna hang out in San Diego, and I'm looking forward to that more than anything else. So so I guess I am looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to the work stuff. I'm not looking forward to being in Perry's apartment and stuff but so part of me is looking forward to it, but I'm just, like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on and it's tough. And I'm also worried about how the stream's going to work, technically when I'm out there. I think I got to figure it out. I'm going to have to do one more test stream. Yeah, Amy calls it's hard that you can't gauge the line based on his reaction. Yeah, you can never go bait, because you can give him one offer for something and he'll scream at it, but then if you offer the same thing a half hour later or like 2 days later, he'll accept it. Like, it's weird. So you can't go by his reaction. He'll just go as insane if we ask him to Champagne fries, but will willingly put on a nightie. Exactly, yeah. And the nightie thing is another thing. Like, okay, that's on the line for me, but still, if he gets paid a decent amount, he's got expenses per month, and he's also got debts and stuff, so that all goes to that, and it makes me more relieved that I don't have to shell it out anymore. But yeah, is it annoying that he won't let me use the car? No, I'm kind of thankful that he won't let me use his car. His car's kind of gross. I wouldn't want to drive his car, to be honest with you. And I might end up renting a car. It's just extortionately expensive for some reason. I haven't checked this week, but when I checked, it was. And then the hotel I'm staying at, it's $30 a night for parking, which isn't too bad because a lot of other places are like $50-$60 a night, which is crazy. So I'll see, but I might not need a car. I still got to figure how close he is to Universal, because I don't trust his judgment. Do I also plan on giving Perry a special present for his birthday? Yeah, maybe. I do want to make a big deal out of his birthday this coming November. He hasn't celebrated a birthday, in years. So as long as I've known him, at least. So I would like to do that. I would like to make a big like birthday stream and like send him gifts, like nice gifts, like actually make him feel good on his birthday. You know, he's been anti-birthday for so long, and it is still weird to me, even when he does cameos and stuff like that. You know, like a year. And by the way, it's like this next week is going to be a year since Perry's on Cameo, because he came on like right around Father's Day, and that blew up. And I remember when he said, "I am not doing happy birthdays. I'm canceling this. I just canceled this fucking Cameo because he said happy birthday. I do not do happy birthdays, and I want off this motherfucking Cameo if they're gonna force me to do birthdays." And it was a battle. Like, Perry, you know what? There's a way to do that, Perry. You can mention that you don't like to do birthdays. There's this whole weird thing where he was battling it. And then now, since he's left that cult, he says no problem. He's like, "Oh, hello, Dan. I hear it's your birthday. I hope you have a happy birthday. I hope you do a lot of things. I hope you drive a fast car and get a girl, you know, and do this whole thing." And it's just weird for me to hear him so agreeable to the birthday. So I would like to do something. I don't know if I'm going to fly to New York or whatever, but I want to do something. We'll see. We'll see where things lay come November. It's a long way away. Will I film Perry at a water park? I don't know. I kind of said that in the moment, but I probably not going to have time for that. But I kind of would love that in a way. But yeah. Like even like he got that sexy stuff in the mail tonight. I'm not gonna have him put that on. Like I think you know, and then things run its course. Like he did the nightie once, and that'll be it. Like I'm not gonna have him do it again. And he like things. I don't mind if he does it once, but you know I'm not gonna make a thing out of it. And that's the thing is there's a lot of people that send offers that we've done. I'm like I don't want to do. Okay, so it's 14 miles to his place. All right, that's not terrible. Because I was looking at places to stay around. His place. There's no hotels that I would stay at for a week by his place. It was just terrible, location wise. So Blue she says, "I worry that Perry's gonna randomly bump into Amy someday and go postal." Yeah, there's a couple of people like that, even like Dizak at this point. You know, like anybody. I'm worried about him bumping into Whitney Cummings. He'd be thrown in jail. Am I reading that right? Okay, so he's 20 minutes away without traffic. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, so I got to figure out how I'm going to get back after the stream. Like if I do the stream there, so I mean, I'm sure Uber won't be a problem. I'm not going to have him take me back because that's going to be too much after a stream, and then he's got to drive back. I feel weird about that. You know, it's funny. Hero, about getting him a hooker. I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were. It was on one of these weekends a bunch of years ago. It might have been around the Festival Supreme time. And there's that weird bar. It's like a Western bar, like down from the Comedy Store, if you're on Sunset. And me and a couple of guys were in there. A friend of mine, my friend Tim, was out there. And Perry was with us. And there was a woman hitting on him. I mean, she was talking to all of us, but she was clearly a hooker. And Tim and I pulled her aside and said, like, how much to have sex with our friend here? And she said it was $100. But I would have had to have let him use my hotel room, which was across the street. And I thought about it, and I was like, I can't sleep in that bed after he does that. And it's too late to call, like, maid service or anything like that. So I didn't do it, but I think back to that, and I wish I would have. I wish I would have just paid up and be like, yeah, you could do this, and I think he would have gone for it, even though he was, quote unquote religious at the time. I think he would have done it. He should wear a suit for his birthday stream. Yeah, I think he's got I'd like to get him a new suit. He's got all these old suits. Yeah, I got to figure out some kind of camera. Somebody says that they'll buy him a camera for the kitchen. Well, I'm gonna get him. I have a remote. It's not a remote. I bought him a phone, like a good phone, like a Google Pixel phone, that basically just connects to Skype, and that'll be our mobile camera. So if he does go to the kitchen, I think I could swap to that, as long as it's connected. So I'm gonna bring that with me. Hopefully, it won't be too much of an issue. But that has a really good camera on it. So that might be our mobile camera. If he's in the kitchen for an extended period, and I have like a little like moldable tripod that comes with it, that hopefully can do that. I've tested it out myself, and it works. So I have him on one Skype account. I can have this on a different Skype account and be able to merge them both, or like switch cameras, like the way I do with the Ring camera. I tried it very early on with his tablet, but the picture, the quality was just terrible, and I abandoned it pretty quick. Yeah, that's it. The Saddleback Ranch. That was the name of the place. Hero. Yeah, and that was the only time I was ever in there. I was never in there again. Yeah, I thought it was cheap too. $100 for the hooker. I mean, she wasn't busted either. She was, she looked okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was $150, but it was definitely under $200. It was cheap, and I should have done it. But again, what am I gonna do? Sleep on the floor? Like, how could you? I'm not sleeping in that bed after they're done. You gonna anything special for a June 26th stream? I don't think so. That's not really our bag. I think that's been played out pretty hard. And what is the 26th is Saturday anyway, so yeah, so no. Belushi Sushi says, something really made me laugh the other night was when he turns the camera in case. Yeah, it's like when I go onto his camera to set up for a new stream, like tonight, it's completely off the desk. I'm like, oh, what happened? He goes, and he doesn't, again, keep in mind, Perry is bereft of shame, so he has no problem telling me why. He's like, I turn it down when I'm jerking off so nobody can look at me. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Hey, Bones McGee, what kind of sports earbud are you talking about? Because I've looked for solutions. I don't want the ones that go on, the stereo ones that go on both ears, because he needs to hear his speakers and everything. But yeah, if somebody can send me a link to a good one, I've definitely looked. You want to hear him call another fast food place and tell a 92? See, I think that was done. I think that was done well, and done once. I don't, and I feel like you'd be watering that down if you do it the same thing over and over again. What I really like about the community we have here is everybody's so creative and always coming up with variations and new things. Who would win in a physical fight? Magic Johnson now, Perry, or Norm Macdonald? I think Magic Johnson would take that. Magic Johnson now, for sure. That's not a bad idea. Grandma Vella says, call Haagen-Dazs to tell that story. That's not bad. Call that specific Haagen-Dazs, the one in Palm Springs. That's not a bad one. Yeah, the tape solution worked really well the other night. Not only that, I'm surprised he kept it on there for so long. But yeah, that I love that call because he was. I had to mute. I had to go off. I had to completely mute myself on that because I was actually. It's hard for me to like step away and look at it. I was in tears. I was crying. I was actually crying, like uncontrollably when he was on that call, because I just thought it was so ridiculous, and the fact that the woman stayed on the phone, like I was just, I completely had to walk away, like from the screen and just let it play out because it was so. I don't know. There's very few things that hit me the right way, and that hit me the right way. And tonight with the Shop Vac launching hit me the right way. But then he asked about like, there was one point in the call where he asked about the fillet of fish special or something. Like he was trying to make it like he was asking a real question. I don't know if that was set up or not. Like if somebody had mentioned that or I mentioned it earlier, but I mean, goddamn, that was so funny. Oh my God, I was just and praise the person that came up with that. I don't know who it was off the top of my head, but that was so goddamn good. But everybody, there's other people that say like I mean, what's been the funny? I mean, we've talked about the things that we don't like on the stream, like the dog food thing, for example. I think a lot of people I've seen agree that some people don't have a problem with it, but I had a problem with it. I didn't like that, even though I was guilty of pushing it forward. But the things that I really do like, I'll always be vocal about. Not necessarily to Perry, but maybe like the next day we'll do like a post-mortem or whatever, and I'll say this was good, and he doesn't necessarily get it. But yeah, the spilt chili. Well, the spilt chili is a different league because that was the very first stream, and that's when that happened. That's when I knew this was gonna work. That's when I knew. I was like, that was great. Yeah, McDonald's showing up at the crab place was great. That was good. I was almost thinking, and I think it would be out of line to do, so I probably won't. But I was almost thinking of when he's in hair and makeup for the shoot on next Saturday to get him a McDonald's delivery of just like an egg McMuffin and a coffee, just for good luck. But I'm not gonna do that. But just like wherever he goes, there's some kind of like McDonald's thing. Yeah. So, but the spilled chili was just on a different, and he did something similar the next week, and I can only go by memory because we lost the stream. But he spilt like tomato sauce all over his keyboard like the next week, and it wasn't as good, but it was still pretty good. He raged out pretty good on that. But I want to take the Adult Swim thing pretty seriously, so I'm not going to do that. I'll take some pictures, maybe take some video and stuff, so we can show you guys. There's been some moments like the microwave on fire, or supposedly on fire. The chili spill is the very first stream. It's not in order if you go on YouTube because it was done on OnlyFans, if you can believe that. But yeah, if you just look up the title, like my first stream or something like that, it was from election night, like November 8th. It was the very first stream, and it was towards the end, and. It's weird to look at that too and see where we've come since then. Like the video quality's garbage. I think he's reading the tips too, which is, can't imagine doing that now, right? Imagine him reading the tips, all these comments. I think that was about 3 weeks ago where he made the phone call. I think it was a Friday. For some reason, I think it was a Friday. So maybe 3 Fridays ago when he told, and I should have clipped it, and I meant to, and then I didn't because I don't want to harp on the 92 stuff, but yeah, it was so good. And when he stood up with the microwave on his chest, yeah, that was good too. And there's moments I completely have forgotten about. See, there was a great interaction. One of the reasons why I'm so pissed off that we lost that second stream, and the stream has been going since November, so about 6 months. Perry started on OnlyFans early November, and then we moved over to Twitch like around Thanksgiving was our first stream on Twitch. But there was a thing on that second stream, and the second stream he did was a week after the election stream, which is his first, and we ended up losing it because OnlyFans sucks. But there was one where I remember him getting a delivery, and it was still new to the deliveries, and he started yelling at, not that I love him yelling at the delivery driver, but he said something. I just remember hearing it on the stream where the guy, it was late in the stream and the guy had a delivery, and he's like, I don't want it, but these motherfuckers are making me take it. And the guy didn't have a Ring camera at the time, but the guy must have been dumbfounded because I can kind of hear him in the background, like not understanding what this is, who this is. And Perry's just like, they're making me, you motherfuckers are making me take this. That might have been the tomato sauce. I don't remember. I can only go by memory. Yeah, what do you fucking have? I do like the one he answered tonight in the Napoleon Napoleon costume. Like, what did he think? What's going on there? Yeah, that poor guy showing up at his door. Yeah, that was when we first got the Ring. Was that? I don't know if it was New Year's. It might have been right after New Year's. New Year's was also a big deal. New Year's Eve was another like moment where the stream got a little more polished. We went on. We were on for 10.5 hours. The Shark Boy thing, where Shark Boy coming into the apartment, I thought was really good, and it came at the right time because Perry was kind of knocked for a loop, having that like Satan's blood stuff, and then he slowly recovered, and the highest live view count this channel has, I think it was 840. I think it was around 840. It was not. It was very recently. It might have been Sunday. But it's definitely been over 800. It's about 840. I think it was our highest combined YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, that's right. People came back with New Year's Eve too. Like we were on. I mean, I was on with him, and it was like, God, it was like 8:30 in the morning my time, and there were people waking up, like went to bed the night before watching the stream, and then woke up and it's still going, which is crazy. Oh, that was the guy laughing at the HIV shirt? I didn't catch that. Is that what it was? Okay, is that why the guy was? Is that why he was rude to that guy? Takeover stream. Yeah, see, but the takeover stream, like I feel like that was done. That was like. Something that was done, and we move on from it, because like that came about like totally randomly the night before because I forget, it was he was getting so I don't know, he was getting so worked up, and then it just made sense to go there. I don't know if doing Dizak, and then my worst nightmare would be Dizak, the actual guy, like tuning in and seeing his name being used. So I don't know if I'd want to do a Dizak takeover, but I get that it would be. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how it would work. Even thinking about it. Yeah, and I know I've been on personally just in these after hours till like 5:30. I think 5:30 a.m. was my late. Yeah, I've definitely been on super late on these. That's not going to be the case tonight, but I think the stream. I think it's going to get to 1,000 pretty soon. Right, that was it, Amy. Right, there was a glitch in the stream. That's right. There, like whatever crashed, and then you sent in the tip that it was hacked, and then I think that night, because that was Sunday, and the Amy thing was the following Tuesday, and I think just to play into that, I think I just replayed a bunch of Amy tips over and over again. And then I said that she had locked us out, and I thought that was going to be it, but he was so fired up about it the next day, like that Monday. He was so fired up about it that I felt like it had to continue on until Tuesday, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, what would it be like if she, and I went back and forth on it because, number one, Amy's not my thing, and I don't like it when other people jump on other people's thing, like how there's a million different Whitneys or. I think once somebody like claims something, it's almost like in a movie. I never like it in movies where like one director will choose a certain song to be in a movie, and then that movie is like kind of defined by that song or vice versa. And then like 5 years later, somebody else uses that song in their movie, and like, well, no, this person already used that song. You can't use that song. And I kind of feel the same way about like using other people's established characters. But with the Amy thing, it was just too strong, and he was so red hot about it that we just had to go with it. And also keep in mind that was also a way to get him to turn around the microwave, which was a long battle, and he that's what did it. That's what got him to turn around the microwave. Yeah, and I agree. Dizak character is very different from Amy. Yeah, that's a great point, Amy. Dan thinks he's working with Perry, and I love how casual he's like, "Hey, I think we got a great I think we got a great case against Brennan Entertainment and Adult Swim. Pick me up some riblets from TGI Fridays tomorrow." It's like, and it's always, it's so, he gets so worked up about it. It's so fantastic. I mean, it's annoying sometimes. The next day he'll bring it up in like a regular conversation, and you're like, "You got to get your lawyer on this Dizak." And I also, me personally, I take a real pleasure in him being so anti-Dizak, because when I first started working with him, he was all about Dizak, because I tried to get him away from him, early on, and he was like, "You don't know what you're talking about. He is a good attorney. He is helping me in my family," and it took it. I was green at the time with working with Perry, and I really had to dig in and finally got him away from him. But geez, it took a while. So now to come full circle like that, and to have him be so completely anti, because there was always that fear that he would come back into Perry's life and like con him into like some other dopey lawsuit. So. Oh, you love the Whitney. Some people do love the Whitney stuff. It's not that. It's just it has no direction. Because there's so many people doing it, and then also Perry just gets really annoying. I mean, I don't know. I find it annoying when he goes on and on about it. So I think it's gross. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I try to go with the flow of things. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Whitney has no punchline. Where's it gonna go? Where's it going? He's not gonna meet her. It's like I think you've wrung that rag dry. Not you, like the royal you. Like it's there's certain things where it's funny, okay, and then the rag has been wrung so dry that like what else are you gonna get out of it? Like where are you gonna go with it? You're just beating it over and over again. And I think it's better to move on to another thing or another person. Yeah, can you imagine if he met her? It gotta be so weird. And also, it's like it bothers me that he doesn't have any like Garrison on his own thought patterns. Like he doesn't catch himself. Like this would be crazy. Like he thinks like it bothers me that he doesn't have that logic. And again, I know who I'm talking about, but he doesn't have like, oh, maybe it's not the real Whitney. And so many times I've told him like, oh, these people you talk to on Instagram, they're not real, whatever. And then he's like, okay, I learned my lesson. And then, he'll go back. And that's something I can't really govern. Is him on Instagram. He's going to talk to whoever there, and Tom Cruise's publicist, he wants me to star in the next Mission Impossible. Kindly write him back, please. It's like, well, Perry, I told you that's nonsense. No, it's not. It's Tom Cruise. All right, send me the profile. Okay. All right, Perry, this account has no followers. It was created yesterday. And there's no pictures. All it says is Tom Cruise. Or, Tom Cruise fan or something like that. All right. And then, it just starts all over again. Yeah, I don't think he knows that. How old is Cher, by the way? I don't know. I don't necessarily know how old Cher is. Does he ever wonder why none of the many deals he's offered on the stream never go anywhere? No, no, not really, because I think I think a lot of it is positive enforcement. Because these are very good for him. At the end of the day, it's very strange that somebody like Tom Hanks would be saying hello, whatever. But then some of them are not. Some of them are done differently. Like Clint Eastwood is very antagonistic, and so he's not even going to think about that. But yeah, Amy says that if the celebrity's nice, he believes it. If they're mean, it's bullshit, which is pretty on the money. It's pretty on the money. But hey, she turned 76. Wow, she's older than I thought. She looks pretty good for 76. But what blurs the lines of reality is, he got that Adult Swim job because of the streams. So that's a real thing. That's real. Like, that's something real that comes out of it. So it adds weight to it, to other things, and they're not all great, but a lot of them are. Do I believe his car accident in 79 was real? Yes, I do believe it's real. I mean, as much of an unreliable narrator as Perry is, that obviously did happen. I mean, did it happen exactly the way he said? Who knows? Amy says most of the deals don't go through, but people are really sending him money, which is, and he's really an Adult Swim, so his world is confusing. Yeah. I mean, my world is confusing too, in that regard, because it is that balance. But I think he also forgets about things too. Like something will go in one ear and out the other, and then he'll only be cognizant about something when he's on the stream. Like if there's a deal with Steven Spielberg, like I'll never hear about it. He'll never mention it to me, like on our off time. But when he's back on the stream, he'll, of course, remember it and be engaged to it. Has he ever told me what Sarah Silverman did to him? Yeah, I don't know. I think she was just... I would just imagine that she was kind of a see you next Tuesday to him, because I don't think she was really into the whole thing. But that's just my opinion. I could ask him, but I don't give that much of a shit about Sarah Silverman to go down that road. That's a good correlation. Amy says Perry reminds you of Big Fish, right? Where he's somebody that has these tall tales and misconstrues everything. Yeah, and we've talked about the Kevin Spacey thing. There's no fucking way he ever met Kevin Spacey, but there's somebody that he did meet that was equally as famous, and maybe his name started with a K or something like that. And I think we We tried to figure out who it was at one point. It's definitely not Kevin Spacey, but it's somebody vaguely famous bought him ice cream in Swenson's at some point. I think we could agree on that. I'd love to know who it was. TomB, are you going to be Tom Brennan on stream or Tom Brennan in quotes? I don't know what you mean by that. Now you're confusing me. Oh, are you the one that started the Kevin? Yeah, I love the Kevin Spacey thing. It's just so crazy. See, that I like, because that's just, it's not overdone, and it's got some kind of direction, and it's embedded in his memory as something that actually happened. But I'd like to know who he's thinking of. I'm trying to think of somebody that would be, like, what did he say that was, like 78 or something like that? Like, who could it possibly be? Kevin James is possible. Yeah, Kevin Bacon I don't think would have been it. Do I still hang out or talk to Gavin? No, I haven't spoken to Gavin in a long time. He veered on a very strange path. Like once in a while, I think I got a text message from him about a year ago asking me something, like a mutual friend or something like that. But yeah, apart from I don't really hear from him at all. I think he's busy with his own stuff, and I'm busy with mine. The gay freak Tom. I don't have a gay freak Tom Brennan character. I never did, and I don't play a character on the streams at all. So I'm just me. Kevin Brennan brought him ice cream and Swenson's. That could be. Yeah, but the thing. Okay, so you say it could be some random guy named Kevin. I think it's somebody famous because he does say that he ran to his mom, and his mom recognized the name. Right? Yeah, Mumble says the same thing. I'm just seeing that as I said it. So that means that was somebody famous. I don't think it's somebody like Kevin McCarthy because he was old at the time, but it's got to be somebody. I don't know. Who would be in? But there's so many of those guys that were in Palm Springs in the late '70s. You'd have to go through a whole thing of like who the celebrities were in Palm Springs, and is it somebody like Kevin or Kenneth or somebody? Kevin Nealon. Judy, has Red Bar ever caught wind of this stream? And also, what do I think Stern would think of the PCL stream? I don't think so, but you know what? We've definitely sent Red Bar a ton of people, because I hear from people all the time that are all of a sudden like big into Red Bar now, and even signed up for their Scars Club membership because we talked about it here. I mean, I think I can account for, no joke, at least 30 people that we sent over there. Like Bill Axt is a guy who's sent me a thing, and tons of people. Like literally over the past maybe 6 weeks, 2 months, I've had people write me saying like, oh, they love Red Bar because they heard me talking about it here. We were discussing it in some way. So I wonder if when they sign up, like, oh, I was sent here from Perry Caravello Live. But no, I don't think it's on their radar, nor would I necessarily want it to be. I don't think he's a fan of, or would be a fan at all. And Stern now, what would he think of it? He'd probably think it was terrible. I mean, I don't know what his sensibilities are now. I don't listen to Stern anymore. But I mean, God, I don't think he'd probably think it was. I don't know what he would think. He'd probably think it was not funny or a waste of time, or, he's not a big fan of. I can't imagine he watches any YouTube or Twitch or anything like that. Yeah, Belushi Sushi. Gavin would like the dog food bit, right? Because Gavin likes that meat. Because Gavin had one thing Gavin said a long time ago that I really adamantly disagreed with, and I think he said it on either on his show or somewhere else, that in order to work with Perry in any capacity, you have to hate him, which is so not true. And I don't hate Perry, and that's why I felt bad about the dog food thing, even though we got paid $250. I didn't like it. And I felt dirty. I remember like going to bed after that. I was just like, that didn't sit right with me. I didn't like it, and I just vowed to. And I talked to other people, like even like the moderators and Scott. I think the next day, and I just think we all agreed that we're, we're not going to go down that road again, because you can't chase the almighty dollar for everything. And I just, you learn from it. Like anything else, look, we've been doing it for 6 months. You're going to have hiccups here and there. I've definitely had my own snafus on this thing, either out of frustration or, sometimes not paying attention or something, whatever. You learn as you go. And you would hope in that situation that you have a forgiving audience that will let you learn from mistakes and, move on. And I always appreciate feedback as well. Hero Bill Axe and I were all in the Red Bar chat yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of people under the radar too, like people that don't even pop up that have said to me that they're into it. So we've definitely tossed them some dollars and some clicks. Cheers, Mr. Ace, if you gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go in a bit too, so. Oh, I get that. Yeah, so you watched Red Bar because of me, and you like when he doesn't agree with him, but the guy kind of annoys you. I totally get that, but they say on Red Bar, give it a year. It might take a little while to adjust to his whole shtick, because I know he can come off as obnoxious or whatever, but not that he's playing a character, but he's definitely amping up a certain type of personality. But I just like the cover. I just like the stuff. Like I'm always behind on it because I can never keep up with it. So I'm always like I don't know, 3 shows, sometimes 4 shows behind. So I'll listen to it when I fly out to L.A. But I want to hear the whole Tony Hinchcliffe episode from last week when he covered that. But I have this OCD thing that I have to listen to it in order, so I can't advance to the next episode until I hear the previous. That's why I'm never on the live, once in a blue moon. Paul says, I should impersonate Perry more in the stream. I could tell it gets under his skin. Does it get under his skin? Like, I'm usually concentrating on doing it. I don't really pay attention to his reaction. Is he annoyed with it? Because I've definitely done it while he's on the phone, and I know he, sometimes he gives a reaction, sometimes he doesn't. Kirk Douglas was in Palm Springs. Yeah, but Kirk Douglas is such a giant that even Perry, you can't mistake Kirk Douglas. Even Perry, you can't confuse Kirk Douglas with fucking Kevin Spacey. I mean, there's no way. Did they? I remember listening to that Red Bar after Kill. I don't think they mentioned the big 3 though. Being on Kill Tony, I remember listening to that one. If they did, it was super in passing. And I remember in the Bring Back group, in the Facebook Red Bar group, I remember people were talking about it because there's a lot of crossover fans, and somebody wrote like Mike himself wrote oh, I hate the big 3 or whatever, and then somebody wrote give it a year. He goes, I've given it 20 years, it sucks, or something like that. I forget, but I just assume he's not a fan. I don't think he knows about these streams. But then again, you never know. I mean, he's clued into so many obscure things that and most of the people that he covers on there, I only know from listening. I really I would never know a guy like Joe Matarese or Josh Denny or any of those people. Stern would white knight Perry even though he took advantage of the whack pack and didn't pay them. Yeah, probably. You're right. You're right. Joe Weed is not okay. You love Red Bar now too after hearing about it from me and started listening. And you thought you were the only one who hated all those shitty Death Squad comics. Yeah. I mean, I basically hate all comics with like one or two exceptions. So that's what I really enjoy about it. It's like it's the only show that doesn't kiss these people's ass. And they act like they're these there's nothing worse than hearing a fucking comedian on one of these podcasts talking about their craft. The craft of comedy and how they killed or slayed a room. I mean, God, it's just brutal to listen to that shit. So that's what I like about Red Bar is they just lay into these people. Wait, are you talking about Perry? Knoxville said he just wants to kill him, not the Red Bar. Yeah, that's not what we're going for here. I think everybody here loves Perry. That's what I like the comments. Every now and again you get a comment like, hey, towards the end of the stream, hey, Perry, we may like to mess around and have fun, but we love you, and that's why we're here. And that's to me what it's about. And that's why, that's the driving force is, everybody loves him. This is not I never want to come off like Perry's being tortured or, anything like that. It's just having fun, but also acknowledging to him that everybody loves him and positive support. And also, the fact that he's paying his own bills now is huge for me personally. I mean, for many reasons, but it's a sense of pride that Perry doesn't, he wants to go shopping, he can go shopping. He pays his rent, he pays his, I think I still pay a couple of things. I got, I pay his internet bill and I pay his phone bill and I think I'm still signed up to pay his electric, but other than that, he's taking care of himself, and that's a huge deal. Red Bar guy gives you Dennis Miller vibes. He's better than Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller's kind of a blowhard, even though I like old school Dennis Miller, like Saturday Night Live Dennis Miller. Not so much political Dennis Miller. Stern wouldn't be interested these days. The streams aren't about cats, virtual singling, and long-winded interviews. Yeah, don't you just hate when people say that Howard Stern is a great interviewer? It's always annoys me. Oh, Howard's the best. He's so bad. I hated Red Bar at first. Now I watch every episode. Yeah, I think Red Bar takes a little bit of warming up too. What's going on with the Big Mike stuff, by the way? Did he leave? Because I'm behind on Red Bar. Did he? Because I know, and where I am with Red Bar is he, Big Mike, he said that stuff about Logan, and then they're still doing Impulsive. But did he leave Impulsive? I don't have my finger on that because I saw some things online. So it sucks kind of being so behind. Yeah, when I fly today, so I can pre-hate everyone. Yeah. Yeah, and there's Matt Ryan says Red Bar is on point even when he mocks shtick while performing his own version of shtick. Exactly. That's kind of like the art of it. Yeah. Perry refused to throw socks at the microwave, but instantly threw the egg. I think he knew that was an honorable thing. You met Gavin a few times before he went off the deep end, and none of the experiences were good. Kind of a dick in general. I could see that. It is weird for me that Gavin is like a top fool on Red Bar. But, I mean, he kind of did it to himself. Yeah, see, I never heard Joe Matarese. I heard Artie talking about Joe Matarese after the fact, but I first heard Joe Matarese, whenever Red Bar started talk, first did, I think it was 2016 when Red Bar started covering him, and that's what got him that's what made him leave Compound Media, because they came down on him, because Joe's publicist or manager is the same manager that Artie has, and they came down on Compound, saying, "Oh, how could you employ this guy? He was bad mouth," because he did that whole thing on the Fixing Joe podcast, which is a disaster. But to be fair, Red Bar never did that on the Compound Red Bar show. It was on the bonus show that followed it, not on Compound's air. But then the Keith the Cop came down on him, and he basically said, "Go fuck yourself," and left. But I think what Red Bar did with Compound was brilliant, because they were on Compound Media for a while, Mike was, and then basically just took a shit ton of their people. Like, I found out about Red Bar from Compound Media, and I think now, I would almost say that the people that listen to Red Bar outweigh the people that listen to Cumia. I would have to think, because I think he took a lot of people with him. And the thing about Joe Matarese is, I don't hate him. You kind of feel sorry for him in a way, but you like that he's being picked. You like that a light's being shown on him, because he's so. I've said this before. Joe Matarese is like Perry. He's like a normal person version of Perry. He's this Italian guy who thinks he should be a comedian but doesn't have the chops, and just still, you got to give him credit for still trying. But actually, in that dichotomy, Perry's more successful than Joe Matarese. This stream is more successful than anything Joe Matarese has going on, and he has Perry shooting a thing with Adult Swim next week. Joe Matarese doing that? I don't think so. Yeah, I love Joe Rogan talking about crafting anything a perfect joke when he's never saying anything funny. Yeah, exactly. Fucking Rogan sucks so bad. The fact that people give that thing any attention. Red Bar is what you get if you cross Gas Money with Joan Rivers. That's a good analogy. But is Death Squad still a thing? I mean, obviously it's garbage. But is that still a thing? I find Hinchcliffe to be one of the most unlikable people I've ever seen. I will say, I've met Tony a couple of times, and he's always been cool. I never wished any ill will about him, but I do love the coverage. But because I could see why he's so hated. Danko Mighty says, "I think what you've done with Perry cleaned up makes sharing the Perry project with others easier. So many people were turned off to the excessive use of the F word and these streams." Yeah, I will agree with that. I think the streams are a much easier gateway into Perry. Much easier gateway. And a lot of women like the streams who would normally be completely turned off to anything he was involved in. Yeah, and Amy says, all right, if people think we hate him, they should look at the chat from when Perry spun the wave. People were cheering for him. And yeah, and that's the important thing, is Perry gets cheered. He could take the hits, and then there's this massive applause, and celebration of him. And I like the celebrations as much as anything else. Yeah, what was that thing with it? Yeah, I like when Perry called you a ghost tonight and then started screaming. That was weird to me. Why was it, where did that come from? Prime Howard was early, seriously. I disagree that. Prime Howard was not early. He was okay, early serious. Prime Howard is in the 90s. That's the entire decade of the 90s, particularly the mid to late 90s. Show was clicking on all cylinders. It was okay in the mid 2000s. It was still good, but prime Howard Stern is, I'd almost say, the entire decade of the 90s. Is Cumia stream on Twitch? And how many people does he get? Well, Amy first heard about Joe Matarese in the Porcelain documentary, which is how you found Red Bar. Wow, that's an interesting thing. The new documentary, because there's been 3. I thought the last one that came out was really good. if you really want to, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you guys want to watch a documentary on like a failed comedian, that just really dissects a human being, and this guy has this English accent, which makes it all the more visceral. Go look up Porcelain on YouTube and see that Joe Matarese documentary. Unbelievable. Who is better, Red Bar or Stern? Like now, Stern. I mean, fucking Red Bar smokes Stern, smokes him. Like it's not even a contest. I couldn't listen to Stern now if you put a gun in my head. Perry had over 3 times the audience as Cumia. That is gratifying. How dare he try to compete with Perry? The statement Perry is more successful than Joe Matarese made your night. Well, it's true, right? I mean, look at it. I mean, there's no way he's not more. He's more successful. Is Matarese even on Cameo? And God, that's got to be a pathetic cameo. If he is. Why doesn't Howard have Daniel Carver on anymore? Like, who the fuck knows? I mean, when's the last time he was on? I don't know. I haven't listened in a very long time. I did meet, I don't know if I've ever told this. I don't think I have. I did meet Daniel Carver once. I'll tell you this, and maybe I'll close with this. So I knew a girl, and I was young. Maybe I was 19 or whatever. When Howard Stern did the New Year's Rockin' Eve special, it was a pay-per-view, and I forget all the ins and outs of this, but I haven't seen it in quite some time. I'm on the video, though. If anybody has the video, I'm on the video. I'm in a crowd shot of the video. But I was a guest of this girl. She was crazy. She was insane, but she was a huge Stern fan. She knew I was a big Stern fan, so she invited me to be her like guest. And I got a hotel room at the same hotel. And anyway, the day of the pay-per-view, it was New Year's Eve. The day of New Year's Eve, what was it? Wherever the hotel was, it was somewhere near Newark Airport in New Jersey. And I'm going to lunch, and I had met Daniel Carver the night before. I knew who he was from like the Channel 9 show. And I talked to him a little bit, and I talked to him and Ralph. And he was just crazy. I was so entertained by his insane phone messages and stuff. And I started to talk about normal stuff, but it doesn't take long for him to like drop the the N-bomb in like casual conversation. But anyway, so I knew him enough from like the last night. And anyway, so going to lunch the next day, it was crowded. And the other guy who I met was Mark Hamill, who was one of the panelists at this thing, Luke Skywalker. I have a picture with him somewhere on my Facebook. Me and Mark Hamill was from the after party. And so I go to lunch, and there's 2 people there. And by the way, it's not Mark. This is Mark Hamill in 1994. So it's not like Mark Hamill today. It's like, and I think like that Batman animated movie had just come out. So he did that, but he wasn't doing a lot. Still looked really good. Anyway, the second most powerful Jedi next to Rey, the Wonder Ray. Anyway, so the long story short is I start having a conversation with Mark Hamill at lunch. And he asked me, he goes, "Hey, do you want to grab lunch? Like sit at a table?" And like, yeah, I would, I'd love to, because I always like treated like celebrities, people that I really liked, as like not, like normal, and not really, not hit him up about Star Wars stuff. Let him bring that stuff up. And anyway, so just as we're about to be seated, Daniel comes in, and he's standing there, and he recognizes me from the night before and comes up, and we're talking. So the three of us have lunch. I had lunch with Daniel Carver and Mark Hamill at this table, and we all sat down and had lunch, and it was so weird because Mark didn't know. I think he knew who Daniel Carver was from the Stern Show, but didn't know who he was by recognizing him. So we sit down at the table, and we order lunch, and it's cool. And Mark Hamill was so cool because we also had a mutual friend, and he was living in New York City at the time, and he was super cool. And we were just talking about we talked a little bit about Star Wars, and he was talking about old radio serials and stuff. And Daniel was at the table, and it didn't take long for Daniel to start dropping. There was so I got to be careful, but there were different servers at this restaurant, and Daniel goes, you can imagine what he said. One of the servers happened to be non-Caucasian. He goes, "Well, I don't want this blank coming over here and serving us." And I swear to God, Mark Hamill gave a look like, "What the fuck did I just get myself into?" And I then had to kind of explain. I said, "Oh, by the way, Daniel is the KKK guy at Howard Stern." He goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." And I think Mark immediately regretted sitting at this table, or me inviting him to this table. But he stayed, and we all had lunch, and I tried to. It was basically, I don't know. I remember, and I was 19. And I remember trying to direct Daniel to not be Daniel and to have a normal conversation, and he just fucking couldn't help himself at certain times. But and again, this is 1994. Nowadays, you wouldn't sit with a guy like Daniel Carver, of course, because he's terrible, blah 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 blah. But at the time, he was just so entertaining for being crazy. So I have a picture of Daniel Carver too, that Mark Hamill took the picture. I don't think I've ever posted it because it's probably not a good thing to post, but I have a good picture with him. But Mark Hamill was super cool. It was 93 turning into 94, and he was just super cool. We were talking about what were we talking? I forget. What would happen if he ever did Star Wars again? Would there ever be another Star Wars? And talked about that stuff, and then talked about. And I hit him up about Batman too, and doing the Joker, because that was new at the time. That Batman animated series was a new thing, and that movie had just come out, Mask of the Phantasm. It was in theaters at the time, and I just seen we talked about that, and it was cool. But I didn't want to hit him up with fanish stuff, it was. He was awesome. He was everything. He was one of those things. It was everything you wanted him to be. Anything you want. Once in a while you meet somebody that means a lot to you, and they're everything you wanted them to be. And that was Mark. He was just super gracious, super cool, and I tried not to be a pushy asshole. Asking him to sign stuff for But I just remember eating a cheeseburger. And Mark paid for dinner, but paid for lunch, paid for the three of us, which was again super cool, unexpected. But I don't think he was. I don't think he was too pleased when he realized who he was having lunch with, and it was my bad. It was my bad. I kind of said to Daniel that he could sit with us because it was one of those things. It picture a hotel restaurant, and most of the people that were there were from the Stern, pay-per-view, either working for it or whatever. And so it was, it's like being the new kid at school and you don't know where to sit. And I kind of took, pity on him in a way, oh, you could sit with us. And I just didn't register. I even talking about it now, it's so strange. Thinking about that happened, that I had lunch with Daniel. Who could say they had lunch with Daniel Carver and Mark Hamill? It was insane. And then it's funny. So to add more to the story, Mark Hamill gave me his phone number, and he's like, "Oh, let's gave me his phone number because he lived in the city." So I had his phone number, and then I also had Daniel Carver's phone number, right? And I had it on this card or whatever it was. I forget. It might have been a receipt or something like that. Again, long before cell phones and shit. so you don't put it in my phone. So I had it in my back pocket. And then so New Year's Eve happened, the pay-per-view happened. We had an after party. They had, not we. They had an after party. I was there again. Hung out with Mark Hamill there. Talked to him more. Came, very chatty, and then the next day I took, I went home. I was living with my parents, and I think I was up all night. I just kind of took my clothes off, threw them in the laundry. I went to bed, and then I woke up hours later, and my mom had done the wash. And then the first thing she said to me when I came out of bed, and this is like New Year's Day at some point, it's like, "Oh, I washed your clothes," which is nice. But the first thing I was like, "Oh my God, I had Mark Hamill's phone number in my back pocket," and my heart dropped. And I ran down to the laundry room, which is downstairs. And I got the number out of the back pocket, but it was like completely fucking faded and washed. Daniel's number completely intact, by the way. His number was fine. Mark Hamill's number was completely smeared, and I just never really. Even talking about it now makes me want to jump out a window. Like and I have a good friend of mine that's a huge Star Wars fan, like to the level that I am. And he always throws it in my face, like, "You could have been fucking Mark Hamill's friend. You could have been his guy. You could have been this. You could have been that. You should have fucking preserved that number. That you should have put it behind glass. You should have never left it in your back pocket. You blah, 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 blah." Anyway, so I told this story to another friend of mine who, he didn't believe me, as if I would embellish a story, and I don't do that. And so I told him, he's like, but didn't like call me on it. Didn't say like, "Oh, that's bullshit." So go. What is this? Like 2 years later, Mark Hamill's doing a signing somewhere at some comic store in the city. There's some comic event or whatever. It's not like a big thing. It's a little thing. I forget what it was. I think he maybe published a comic or something like that. He was doing a signing, or maybe it was at a Warner Brothers store and he was selling animation cells. Or he was signing Joker animation cells. It was something like that. Anyway, this guy goes there, my friend Alan, who I haven't spoken to in years. But anyway, so he goes there, and he tells me about it after the fact. He goes to the he sees Mark Hamill, and he goes, "Hey, by the way, my friend Tom says that he met you and hung out with you at Howard Stern New Year's Eve party, and you had lunch with Daniel Carver and this and that." And he goes, "Is that something?" And then Mark, this is his version of it because I wasn't there. And Mark goes, "Oh yeah, how's he doing? He never called me. He like, yeah, I thought like he never called me." And he tells me this, and I'm like, "Well, this is the part where you gave him my number, right? And you said you explained to him what happened, and my mom washed my jeans, and I lost the fucking number. You told." No, I there was other people in line. I just moved away. And I was like, "You fucking motherfucker." I was like, you. He's like, well, he confirmed your story, so I'm sorry for ever doubting you. And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Go fuck yourself. Like, you had that's tortured me for the past 3 years. Now here's your chance to rectify it for me, your alleged friend." And you could have said, "Oh," and I think by then I had an email. I said, "You could have given my email address. You could have given my phone number. You could explain to him what happened and why I never called." And he never did that. So I always feel like anytime I ever see Mark Hamill on Twitter or anytime I see him, I cringe so much because, and by now I'm sure he's long forgotten that. But it's just one of those things. And I had a similar thing where I had a girl's phone number that got washed away in like my pants, like that I was interested in. I remember being upset about that, but this trumps that by a mile. Yeah, but I have great memories of that day, sitting at lunch with Daniel Carver, and, as crazy it was, and Mark Hamill, and the conversation we had. We talked about Stern and so many things. It was great. But yeah, that's my brush with Mark Hamill and Mark Harris, and Mark Harris I actually became friends with. Who's King Cobra, by the way? I don't know King Cobra. Tom should be King Cobra's publicist. I don't know. about King Cobra. Yeah, can you imagine? I'll tell you what. Somebody said I could have talked to him about The Last Jedi. If I became friends with Mark Hamill, I would have never allowed him to do The Last Jedi. I would have read that script and say, Mark, we're not doing this. They need you for this movie, and we're not doing it. I wouldn't even allow him to do Force Awakens. Fuck that. Fucking let Luke Skywalker be shown at the last fucking moment of that piece of shit. God, I have so much pent up anger involving Mark Hamill. You refused to watch the last Star Wars movie because you hated Last Jedi. Yeah, I didn't watch it either, and then like a friend and I decided to go see it long after it came out, like February of last year, just to kind of get it over with. And I don't really remember anything about it. It was that bad. Oh yeah, I know Mark Hamill's a big fan of Perry's. Yeah, well, he's a big Windy City Heat fan, so there's that. But I don't know. It's one of those things. Yeah, like just stupid things. Like I remember, I was working at a record store once, and this guy came in who was like, he was a record collector, and he'd come all the time, and he was like the president of Topps, like Topps baseball cards, and he was trying to, he liked me, just talking. He's like, oh, what do you want to do with yourself? What do you want to do with your career? And I was like, I don't know, Des. He's like, well, you ever consider, he kind of offered me a job at Topps, and I didn't take it. And I look back at that, I'm like, what are you, a fucking moron? like why, you think of like the paths you could have taken and all these different things, but whatever. King Cobra is very similar. This rings a bell. Maybe I know King Cobra, but yeah, that's it. Like Amy says, like back then, if you lost a number, it was it. There was no looking somebody up in the book. Like, and I lost that like for like a girl I went out with like one time, and and I liked her a lot. I mean, I was like 18 or something like that, and I remember really like really liking her, and we had plans, and she gave me her number, and again I lost the number. Like it just, I don't know if it went lost in a wash or whatever, but that's still like, even to this day I think about that. I'm like, that girl at that time thought that I just ghosted her, or I never called her, or I never followed through, and it bothers me. It's like, no, this is what happened. It's like the Mark Hamill thing, and God, I'm gonna go to sleep tonight thinking about. I haven't thought about that in a long time, but now all of this, now all of the anxiety and nerves about the Mark Hamill thing is completely reawakened in me. King Cobra's gem, okay. Can I do that? Let me see something here. Hang on.
I gotta clean my.
I'm gonna try to play this clip that Hero sent me. Okay. Let's try this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need the let's see. I'm gonna figure this out on the fly. No, not that. There we go. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just trying to figure this screen out. I gotta resize it. Here are some of this YouTube clip of King Cobra. I'll just play it here. It's fucking such a pain in the ass to resize. I think that's good enough. Then I gotta figure out the sound's gonna play. But if you guys are sticking around for this stuff, I'm impressed. Okay. Let me know if you could hear this.
My stove. God damn it. I'm sick of dropping shit, you know, but it'll get cooked off in the fryer, so. All right, you got all your French fries.
Sorry.
And as you can see, that's bubbling.
Yeah, the audio works. I can't get the video.
So what we're gonna do is just, I would just dump these in here, but I don't want the grease to splatter, so. Your next step is just.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going down this weird. It's framed weird. Let me try this.
Just drop them in there like that. Fuck it.
Oh, Jesus.
God damn it! Stop! Fuck my life, YouTube. I need salt.
What's this guy's story?
Well, you know, that was real fucking smooth of me, too.
Huh. Just a weird guy, yeah.
Hey YouTube, this is King Cobra Jeff asking the video.
Shut up. Just a typical. So is that the kind of stuff he does? Like just has accidents and spills food and shit? That always works too when something's going on fire and you say stop. That always seems to work. Perry will get jealous of my Mark Hamill friendship and end it. Yeah, well, I guess that's not a. I guess it's not an issue anymore. Any of you guys meet? What's the biggest celebrity you guys have met? Where you have good stories, like. Because I always never ceases to amaze me that somebody will tell me a story that they met so and so, and they could be an asshole, and then somebody I think should be cool and they're an asshole, and then somebody I think will be an asshole and they're cool. you met Justin Bieber as a cool guy. See, that one surprises me. Pauly Shore, does he even qualify? You met Michael Jordan? That's pretty high end. Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash. I met Hulk Hogan, and I was kind of a dick to him. Not intentionally, but I met. It's not. Dana Snyder, the voice of Master Shake. That's pretty cool. I grew up a big wrestling fan, but this was like 2004, maybe 5. Anyway, I had my friend who at the time was still really into wrestling, and I wasn't. But he's like, "Oh, Hulk Hogan's doing this signing at this, I don't know, one of those like autograph places." And he's like, I had a ticket. A friend of mine would go. You need a ticket, but if you want to go, just come with me. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And then you had to get something to sign, so I had an 8x10. And at this point, I think it was like after that horrible reality show he did. And I hated that show because I really liked Hogan growing up, and I bought into the character. And that show just showed him as just complete white trash. It's just, I don't know. I really just looked down on him for doing it. And so as much as I like, Hogan in terms of like 80s and 90s Hogan, I just couldn't stand him at that point. But it was still interesting to see a guy in person that you grew up watching. And I was kind of a dick. I go up to him, and I had like this 8x10 sign, and he goes, "Who to make an ass out to?" And I said, "Can you make this out to future eBay winner? Just say, dear future eBay winner." And he gave me this glare. He gave me this look like, you're a dick. But then he smirked. He goes, "Sure thing, brother." And he signed it, dear future eBay winner. And signed his name. And then I said, thanks. And then my friend, who was shooting me darts with his eyes, that I even said that, was next in line, and he got all gushy with him. But I wish I would have held on to it. But I did sell it on eBay, and it sold for $250. I think right around there. But I look back at that. I should have been more respectful. Met Michael Jordan at Trent Tucker's fundraiser. I was a bartender at the bar that Jordan walked around smoking cigars in the bar. Didn't tip. Oh. Patrick Ewing tipped for $100 of water. $100 for a bottle of water. Wow, that's too bad. I agree. Hulk Hogan deserved better. That was a dick thing I did. I can admit when I've been an asshole or made mistakes. We've all made them. That's cool, Dank. I always thought Jerry the King seemed like a really cool dude. Red Bar has their own website, redbarradio.net or .com. I think either one works. Yeah, I asked Hulk Hogan to eat dog food, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough money, and then yeah, I think Hogan is the kind of guy that would do it for the right price. I mean, he just seems like such a whore for money. And that was that whole thing too. It's like you gotta keep in mind at the time, like he was like trying to get that daughter of his, like a record deal, like she was the next like Britney Spears or something, and that was totally cringe. Tom, you should spend more time talking down to us and virtue signaling. You're never going to make it big in Hollywood. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I think Hogan had sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife at the time, but like with Bubba's permission or something. It was just weird. Yeah, Hogan would sell his kids for money. I agree with that. See, what William Shatner? So I've heard several people that met William Shatner and said that he was awesome. Never met anybody. The people that have met him had a bad word to say about him. Leonard Nimoy, on the other hand, I heard was a dick, but that's just one person, you know, and that's the other thing you got to judge on. Everybody's entitled to have a bad day, so you can't go by one person's story. Like, oh, I met, you know, so and so, and they were a dick, you know. Then that just, you label them as a dick. We've all had dick moments in our lives where we're assholes. Oh, you met Barbara Eden? That's awesome. That's right. That rings from, okay, Bubba wanted to blackmail Hogan, and Hogan didn't know he was being recorded. Didn't Hogan say like a racial slur or something? Oh, that's too bad about Elvira. That she wasn't cool when you met her. Yeah. I liked all those horror hosts. Have I heard that Rain Johnson confirmed he'll be directing 2 episodes of the next Mandalorian season? I haven't heard that. If that's true, I'm done with Mandalorian. I didn't even see the second season of Mandalorian. I liked the first season okay, but again, if Mandalorian is just going to go down the road where it's just a precursor to that sequel series, that sequel film trilogy, I'm not interested at all. So and if that's the case, if he's officially directing episodes, I'm out completely. No interest in that. Tim, in LA you had a version of The Wiz called Crazy Eddie. Yeah, we had Crazy Eddies too. I don't know if it's the same Crazy Eddie, but Crazy Eddie commercials in New York are famous. You can look them on YouTube. There was a guy who played Crazy Eddie on the commercials in the late 70s, throughout the 80s. And they were famous for doing, our prices are insane. And the guy was always like talking a mile a minute. And they would do crazy things like Christmas sale in July and stuff like that. I bought my first Walkman at Crazy Eddie's. Dustin, you met Pete Rose? I don't care what Pete Rose... If he tried to sell you that, I fucking love Pete Rose. I just unabashedly love. I mean, my team is the Mets, obviously, but my favorite baseball player out of any Met, is Pete Rose. Fucking love Pete Rose. And I know he, bet on baseball and all that. I don't care. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I fucking love Pete Rose. Thanks to some good story. You met the last surviving Munchkin from The Wizard of Oz. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they got to be dead by now, but that's pretty cool. I met Dirk Benedict too, and he was really cool. Dirk Benedict was awesome. I met him at it was a convention, but I wasn't at the convention. As like I met him like backstage, and he was just fucking really cool. He had some good. He had a good George Papard story that he was telling somebody else, and I kind of honed in on it. Just talking about what an absolute dick George Papard was. Wow, Jerry Lewis. Ooh. Hero met Jerry Lewis. Ran to Jerry Lewis at the front of the Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco, screaming at his limo driver to not put any luggage in the passenger compartment. The trunk was packed full and there was no room for it, but Jerry still had a mountain of bags. Yeah, very few people that will come away from meeting Jerry Lewis as a positive experience. I've heard that about Dave Chappelle being a super nice guy. Isn't that Perry's story? Thank Lou Ferrigno, when you met him, didn't realize he was deaf. You thought he was a jerk, but then you were the jerk. Yeah, I think Perry has a very similar story. Wow, you met Andy Griffith at a nude beach in 2004. That's pretty good. Oh, Crazy Gideon. Okay, I've heard of that chain. I've heard Crazy Gideon. Yeah, not the same as Crazy Eddie. I've heard that though. Yeah, I'm a big A-Team fan too, Dank. Not so much the last season where they with what's his name, the guy from Man from Uncle. I can't think of his name. I didn't love the revamp, what they tried to do. Like, I guess the ratings were going downhill, and they tried to revamp the show. I didn't love that, but I love the first few seasons. I haven't seen it in many years, but I loved the first few seasons. Met Ben Stiller at a bar I worked with in Vancouver. Was super chill. Running a bottle of his favorite tequila. That's cool. I said charge the most expensive to the bar per drink. That's nice. That's cool. I don't have anything against him. Is New York City going to hell as much as you're led to believe by UK media? I don't think it's going to. I mean, it's definitely not what it used to be. It's definitely gone downhill with de Blasio as mayor, and of course the pandemic didn't do it any favors. But it's definitely taken a hit because New York City coasted on pretty good numbers in terms of crime and all these other things from the mid 90s on, with Giuliani and then Bloomberg as mayors. But man, this guy de Blasio is really just, I mean, you can't blame all of it on him, but yeah, New York has definitely seen better days. I don't know how abysmal it's being covered, but I'm glad I don't live in the city anymore. I'll put it that way. You can never trust. It's crazy how many stars of Perry has met, but you can never trust all of those memories. David Duchovny was a dick to you. I've heard that. I heard that from another friend of mine who was a big X-Files fan. I liked the X-Files when it was on, and he was a dick and said it kind of turned him off to it. No, I didn't like the 18 movie. I don't like that director either. I just didn't. How do you do the 18? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it's like any place. New York has been going downhill. Their taxes are ridiculous. Cost of living is out of control. Yeah, it's bad. Look at what you pay. Although the real estate prices have gone down a little bit in the city the past year because people are fleeing the city, but it's driving up real estate prices elsewhere. So like, I was trying to buy a house like this time last year. It was impossible because everybody is fleeing the city. But not everybody, but a lot of people are. And yeah, it's just the cost of. Again, the only reason I live in New York is for my parents. I have two sisters, and they both live out of state. And God forbid something happens to my parents, I wouldn't live here. I only live here because somebody needs to be close to them. But and I like New York. I mean, I have New York in my DNA, and I like certain things about New York for sure. But I'd be fine living somewhere else. I don't remember the 18 movie at all. I remember bits and pieces of it. Perry can't remember an egg he put on top of the AC 5 minutes ago. Of course, he can't rely on his memory from decades ago. But he has a pretty good long-term memory, but of course it's skewed. Brandy, okay, Tom, this one's for me. Did you have a place for Twin Peaks in your heart? If so, did the return mean anything to you? You know what? It's complicated with Twin Peaks. I was dating a girl in high school that was obsessed with Twin Peaks. I'd always quote it. It was annoying to me. So I only kind of knew the show from her when it was on new. I remember my parents watched the first season. It was a big deal. I remember when that show came out, when Twin Peaks came out, like in what was it, 1990 or 91? It was a big deal, but it was a little too adult for me. at the time, and then I revisited years later. I think I had it on VHS or something like that, and I really liked. I liked the first season. I liked the whole vibe of it, and I really liked the X-Files at the time. And what really there's a couple of things that I think inspired the X-Files. Several different things. I think Silence of the Lambs and Twin Peaks for sure. And then there was the older '70s series called Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Are the three influences that go into the X-Files. So I really, out of respect, dove into Twin Peaks. And David Lynch is hit or miss with me because he's just too weird for the sake of weird. So I did like it. I didn't love, as most people didn't love the second season, didn't like where it ended up, but those first early episodes, where it was like mini-series-esque, were fantastic. And then I never finished The Return because it was so oppressively weird to the point where it was so and to the point where you can't even make sense of anything. It was too David Lynchy. And one of these days maybe I'll watch it, but I couldn't get through it. I think I got through 3 episodes. And I liked the fact that it was on, and I liked the fact that they were doing it again, and I liked the fact that I liked everything about it, the concept of it, but I couldn't get through it. Who's been the coolest celebrity Perry fan? To be honest with you, I think all the celebrity fans of Perry kind of suck, and I'll tell you why. Because like you can name, there's people that like Windy City, but then there's people that watch this stream that are celebrities, and I know for a fact that they watch it, but they all keep it like their dirty little secret. They won't follow him on Twitter. A couple guys, I tell you who's pretty cool is Jake Tapper from CNN. He follows Perry, and he's even liked some of his tweets and stuff. And he must watch the streams because I think he's liked some of his tweets about the streams. But by and by, most celebrity fans that are like, real celebrities, they keep it their dirty little secret, and they'll share it amongst themselves, and they'll like, probably privately talk about it, but they never publicly, give it any props or like it. So to be honest with you, I say fuck most celebrity Perry fans because they don't do anything to push it whatsoever. Yeah, okay, so The Return was okay. I'll watch it. Yeah, and that's the thing that soured me. Like, I didn't like season 2 of Twin Peaks. But I just felt it spent way too much time. And I know they had to address the whole thing with Agent Cooper. But his whole thing where he's this other person, and I know eventually he becomes Agent Cooper again, but I just wasn't willing to sit through all that. It was just too fucking crazy to me. But maybe one day. There's so many other things on my list of things I want to watch, but I'll have to get through it. And I didn't like the movie, the Fire Walk With Me movie. I didn't like at all. But this mixed bag. Some people love The Return. Other people, like diehards, didn't like it. So yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I gave it a try. It just didn't do anything for me. Yeah, I guess Dominic Monaghan's probably the definitely the biggest and coolest Perry fan, celebrity fan. Yeah, the kid from that fuck all those Stranger Things kids are fucking annoying. But yeah, Bill Hader had him watch when yeah, Bill Hader's cool too. But yeah, Bill Hader is another one I'd say is a cool Perry fan. How am I talking shit about Twin Peaks? I said the first season's good. It's just second season not so much, and I couldn't get through The Return. And are there any plans to do a further Twin Peaks? My favorite episode of the Twilight Zone is Walking Distance, the one where the guy has actually no, I have two favorites, but that's one of them. The guy, his car breaks down, and he realizes, it's the guy says it's going to take about a couple hours to fix or whatever, and he realizes he's in walking distance from the town he grew up in, and then when he walks to the town, he actually travels back in time and sees himself as a little kid, and learns to appreciate seeing the world through childlike eyes, and now he's a business executive and stuff, and sees his father, and it's a really great episode. And then the other one is Nick of Time with William Shatner, not the one on the plane, the one where he's in the diner, and he's superstitious, and he keeps asking that machine, it's like the thing that comes out with the fortune-telling cards, all the questions. There's a shirt that William Shatner's wearing in that episode that I've always wanted. Now, it's black and white. I don't know what color it is. I think it's blue. But I've always wanted that shirt that he wears. He looks so good. I mean, not to sound like I'm into William Shatner, but he looks so fucking amazing in this shirt. He's wearing this, like, short-sleeve collared shirt that has this great stitching around. It's a very vintagey shirt. And I've always tried to find it. I've never been able to. But, yeah, those are my two favorites. Yeah, I'd probably watch that 4.5 hour Twin Peaks Explained thing. I would need it because I feel stupid watching it. And I'm not stupid. But it's just too... That's why I don't like a lot of indie films. Like, I don't like weird for the sake of weird, and I don't like things that are too avant-garde. It's just... Watching The Return hurt my brain. And I just couldn't follow through, and I'm a guy that follows through. Can we call Perry? Yeah, he's probably asleep by now. I don't want to wake him up because I don't like it when he wakes me up. Ernie Hudson, that's a cool meet. Is he cool? I wouldn't ask him about Ghostbusters. There's a bunch of other movies I'd ask him about. Yeah, who's the guy? I know a lot of the cast passed away at Twin Peaks. Who was the guy? I can't think of his name. Great character actor. Miguel something. I felt really bad when he passed away. Yeah, Walking Distance does have a beautiful score, but it's such a great episode, that episode of Walking. It's just so perfectly Twilight Zone, but it's not one of those ones that has a gotcha moment or is like in your face, or not that I don't mind those ones at all, but there's an innocence to that episode that I really love. But I'm so behind on everything. Like there's no TV show I've watched in the past year. I've just had such a busy, lot going on. I said this before. The only thing I really watch is YouTube. Even like a show like Better Call Saul, which I really like. The last season that came out last year, I never watched it. I still have to watch that. There was a lineup of shows, like I feel like a few years ago, that I was very up on, and now there's nothing. There's nothing I watch. Any female fans on right now that would call Perry? I don't think there's too many. Tom's saying he doesn't like things too avant-garde after we just watched a stream of a guy dressed as Napoleon shooting marshmallows out of his shop vac is amazing. Well, yeah. You mean a pirate? No, Mumbles. I didn't like The Master. I didn't. I mean, I'd have to watch it again. I remember being excited when it came out, and I went with my girlfriend at the time to see it, like opening night in New York City, and it was playing in 70 millimeter. And and this really big screen, and I was really into it. I really liked Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Paul Thomas Anderson. I loved Boogie Nights, like Magnolia. You know, he's hit and miss, but again, I felt it was one of those things. It was weird for the sake of weird, and I just felt it. It felt very self-indulgent, and I liked aspects of it, but I didn't love it. But I'd probably be due for another watching of that. But it's far down my list of things that I would watch. Yeah, Miguel Ferrer. He's such a great actor. Everything he does, and he was my favorite part of The Return, the episodes I saw. I've never seen Black Mirror. I've only seen selected episodes that friends have told me to watch. Like I saw the Star Trek episode with Jesse Plemons, Matt Damon's retarded brother, which I really liked. That was good. And then the only other episode I ever saw was when the people were doing that, like, dating app, and they were in this village that selected who you're compatible with, and that was okay too. Those are the only two episodes I ever saw. I would be interested in seeing more Black Mirror, but I'd have to have it curated for me. Like, people recommend specific episodes. I don't feel compelled to watch the whole thing. Down to Red Bar Perry and Better Call Saul. Yeah, it's same pretty much. Just because, I just have so much shit to do. I don't have, and also the nights that I have free, which is few and far between, I kind of want to just zone out and maybe play a game or something like that. I don't have time to get into a new show, but I would like to watch Better Call Saul the last season. But it's been so long now, I almost feel like I got to watch the whole thing over again. But I would like to get into Better Call Saul. Like, I was into The Walking Dead for a while, but that came to a point where I was just like, I cannot watch this anymore. It's just too insulting. Oh yeah, Fargo I like too. I like the first season of Fargo a lot. Loved the second season, probably my favorite. And the third one was okay. And then the one that came out last year I didn't see at all. And I didn't hear anything about it, so I don't know how good it is. And I haven't seen any new movies. Anything that's come out. Well, I mean, there's not really that much that's come out this year, but I haven't seen anything. I've heard that you said you watched the first two episodes of Black Mirror. I hear the first couple of episodes are terrible. For people that like Black Mirror, say that the first couple episodes are terrible, and you should not judge that on the whole series. But because it's not like all the shows are self-contained, I feel like you could just jump around and see like a best of. Brenny, do I have any regrets about working or saving Perry? Yes, I do. Presuming all of your obvious dedication, what's your favorite artistic slog? Blade Runner, Tree of Life, Ishtar. I like Blade Runner a lot. And I think I've talked about this before. I've gone back and forth. I'll tell you, I really liked, I forget what it was, the sequel that came out a couple of years ago. I thought that was phenomenal. I really loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the score. I loved the sound mix. I thought it was one of the better sci-fi sequels. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, in terms of, of course I regret. I regret this time. I mean, not to get too into it, but I was really struggling to keep him afloat and me at the same time. And I did okay for myself, but I thought there was going to be some kind of button, and I was just spending money. And I was so bitter. Not bitter. That's not the right word, but angry that other people in his life, whether it be his family or other people, just weren't lifting a finger, weren't contributing a fucking dime. And it's all fault. How did I get to be so lucky? But again, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna let the guy go homeless. I'm gonna let him, he wouldn't survive. And so really had no choice. But do I regret it? Yeah. I mean, I don't regret it now, because now it seems to be on a good path, at least maybe of paying back debts and stuff. Of course, not quite there yet. But yeah, like this time last year, especially getting into the summer of last year, it was bad. Like I was fucking scared, like really scared, like to the panic, like to the point where I couldn't sleep. I was panicking, absolutely panicking. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like how do I get him situated? Just really bad. So yes, I do have regrets, but not to the point where I regret actually doing it, but to the point where I would question it, for sure. No, I didn't get to give Billy Strings a listen yet, but I wrote it down. Succession on HBO is good. I've heard that, but isn't that kind of a girl show? Not to sound crass, but isn't that kind of like a girl, like a female show? Oh, did Fargo season 4 suck? Really, the one with Chris? That's too bad because I really liked the first two particularly. I thought 3 was okay, but that's a shame if the fourth one's that bad. Did I get into the Castlevania games on Nintendo? Yeah, absolutely. I did see the animated. I showed the animated the first season. Did they come out with more? I mean, again, I'm way behind, obviously, but I remember seeing that. Yeah, I love Castlevania. Is one of the first games I ever got for the Nintendo that wasn't an actual Nintendo game. Didn't love Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, but nobody did, and then Castlevania 3, and then Super Castlevania. I don't remember playing anything past that. I never played any like Rondo of Blood or anything on another console. I only stuck to Nintendo. Yeah, I watched. I'm my friend, really huge Alan Partridge fan. So yeah, I'm Alan Partridge. Again, it's one of those Britishy shows. I hate British production. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like Black Mirror. I'm not that I don't like Black Mirror, but I'm hesitant about Black Mirror. I hate British production. I hate British production values. Like when it's too Britishy, like you just look at it and tell it's British. And with comedies, I think I've said this before. I hate laugh tracks, but I hate laugh tracks when somebody's clearly on location, because those British comedies, they don't have necessarily a settle. Like they'll be out on a farm somewhere and you'll hear a laugh track. Like, where are these people sitting? Where are they watching this? It's so distracting to me. But yes, to answer your question, I do like Alan Partridge. Yeah, The Walking Dead is the worst show. This is from a guy that considers the Walking Dead book very good. Yeah, the thing with Walking Dead earlier, Walking Dead has one of the best TV pilots I have ever seen. That first episode, that first pilot, is fantastic. And there's a lot of shows like that have great pilots and then never live up to the potential of the pilot, or never carry on from the greatness of the pilot. And that pilot is the best episode of that show, and it's never any subsequent episode was never good. And I watched it for a while, up until the main guy left, whatever his name was, Rick. So, and even at that point, it was terrible. But then I just couldn't take it anymore, and I was like, why am I watching it? Why am I watching it? Couldn't do it anymore. And it's not something I'll ever go back to either. Like, I'll catch up on it. I'm not interested in catching up. I don't care. Blade Runner 2049, that was the movie. Yeah, fucking great. Love Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, Blue Susie, you're a good egg, Tom. Not a lot of guys could say they've taken care of someone who constantly tells them to fuck off, or made sure the Grand Dragon of the KKK didn't have lunch alone. That is true. That is true. I did feel bad for him. But yeah, I don't know. That's what we get for having soft spots for certain people. Buddy says, Tom, I wish you and PCL major success. You've done a lot of heavy lifting. Yes, I have. But so have other people. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, thank you for that. All right, I'm going to write that down because I trust Amy's suggestions. The Black Mirror, White Christmas, and Shut Up and Dance. I'll check those out. And they're not long, right? Those episodes. Well, some of them are. They're different lengths. Oh, that's so disappointing. Mumbles. Fargo gets sidetracked with woke shit. That's too bad. Thank. When I put up that OnlyFans video where I laid it all out for you, that's what made you want to help. I've been a fan for years prior, but that alarmed me and solidified my respect for TomB. You're a man of honor. Thanks, Dank. I appreciate that. Yeah, I it's been rough. It's been a rough 4 years, to put it mildly. You passed out for Perry, but woke up to late night chat with Tom. Well, definitely check out the Perry's way more interesting. We're winding down, but this was a good stream. You're gonna want to watch it. The first season of Fargo is so goddamn good because Billy Bob Thornton is in it. The one thing I don't like about the first season is that fucking guy from I can't think of his name, Martin Freeman from The Hobbit and that stupid Sherlock show. I hate that Sherlock show too. That I can't stand it. But I hate Martin Freeman. I hate Martin Freeman because he's such stunt casting, because he was okay as Watson in that Sherlock show. And then all of a sudden he's in these major, they cast him as the fucking Hobbit. I never saw the Hobbit movie. I saw Lord of the Rings. I never saw the Hobbit movies. But Martin Freeman is such an obvious, background, fourth guy, fifth guy. And to make him the lead in that series was crazy to me, because I just think he's terrible. I don't think he's good in it. And I don't think he can do an American accent. They should have cast somebody else. I just didn't. I really aggressively don't like Martin Freeman. Thankfully, maybe he's gone away a little bit. But I hate stunt casting. I hate when somebody, a TV series is popular, and then all of a sudden that person gets cast and everything for the next 5 years. So fucking annoying. Top 3 karaoke songs in my holster. Paradise by the Dashboard Light doesn't count. I don't have too many of those. Perry's height changed to 5'5". He's definitely on the IMDb. He's definitely more than that. Definitely taller than that. You stopped watching The Walking Dead after they left the prison. Yeah, I think that's probably the right time to stop watching. Tell you what show didn't have a great pilot, Lost. Get it? Yeah, the Fargo movie is great. You just watched it a few months ago, I guess. Yeah, I should watch it. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's so good. It's so quirky and weird in a good way. Trees Lounge I never saw, but I'm a Steve Buscemi fan. I met Steve Buscemi, and unfortunately I met him not at a nice thing, but my dad's good friend, and somebody I grew up with, because I'm good friends with his son, died in 9/11, and Steve Buscemi was a firefighter before he went into acting, and worked in the same house. And so I kind of met him at the wake and funeral. The son introduced me. Obviously a somber thing to meet somebody, but he was very cool, very respectful. The fact that he would even, he went to the funerals of firefighters that he had worked with. 9/11. There was so many. There was funerals every day, so I thought I gave him a lot of respect for that. Will we ever get another Scary Perry and TomB show? I mean, don't you get one 3 days a week? Kind of. My Memorial Day plans, not much. It sucks because the apartment I'm in, they have a pool, and the pool opens on Memorial Day weekend, and I was actually going to chill out tomorrow, But yeah, it's gonna rain all weekend. I need to go shopping tomorrow. I gotta go get some just some clothes for LA. Like I gotta get a new pair of shorts, and I don't really wear shorts, but I have to wear shorts in hot weather, especially if I'm gonna be in Reseda. So buy a pair of shorts that fit my current waistline, because the shorts I have from last summer definitely don't fit. And I want to get some kind of nice shirt for the Adult Swim shoe, so I don't walk in there looking like a slob. So that's what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe go out to dinner. Maybe hit that Mexican place up. And then Sunday we strain. I got so much stuff to do too, and I gotta finish doing stuff with Perry's computer. So I definitely got my work cut out for me, because I don't leave till Tuesday, but that's gonna come up real fast. We're winding down should be the name of the two, Tommy. I know. I really am winding down though. I know. I say that, but then we have a good time. And again, I want to make these better. These things, like, so we can like do like a group like voice chat or something, and I'll get a camera and stuff. But it's still gonna take me a good month or so to get that going. I don't like Brit. I have a lot of British friends. It's not that I don't like British, but I like British music and stuff. I just fucking hate British TV shows for some reason. I've always hated it, even when I was a kid. Like, they'd be on PBS. I'm like, who watches this? Martin Freeman plays a badass on some show on Netflix. Like, that has to be awful. I mean, he's so bad. I fucking hate Martin Freeman. I don't hate him personally. I hate the fact that he gets cast and everything. He was okay in like a couple of Marvel movies, like he was in Captain America: Civil War. He was okay, and I think he was in Black Panther. He was okay, but fuck him. Seriously, like, why? Like, there's some other actor that could have done such a better job in every role he's ever had. Yeah, speaking of bad comedy sequels, Bad Santa 2 is atrociously bad. Yeah, you can't say you have an affinity for that. That is so bad. God, I remember seeing that. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it like when it came out on video. It was fucking horrible. Tom, how do you feel about a semi-exposed life? It ain't celebrity and it ain't Perry levels of a dress exposure, but it's certainly a strange world to inhabit. Yeah, I guess so. I don't think I qualify as semi-exposed. I mean, life, but I mean, I keep pretty private. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. Yeah, some stuff should be. I agree. Coming to America 2 is not a movie I'll ever watch, just because I'm just not interested in it. When are we going to see Perry clean up a working square of space for these streams? I don't know, man. I might do some cleaning when I'm there. I really want him to do some dusting and stuff, because it was so gross when I was in there last year. And, I don't want to have to go, fuck. I can only imagine just how worse it is now. Fargo season 4 has a lot of Black Lives Matter themes. If you're into that kind of thing, it's okay. No, I'm definitely not into that, and I'm not into any kind of woke. But that's the thing. I don't understand how Hollywood still thinks that wokeness makes money. Because there's a saying, "Get woke and go broke." Like, none of these things bear fruit. All of these woke movies and like woke franchise. Like in that last Terminator movie that was all woke. Dark Fate or Woke Fate, whatever it was called. Like, it bombed. But yet they still greenlight these fucking things that just, they come out with it. Woke this, woke that. It's like they don't fucking learn. Is it more important to virtue signal than it is to actually make money or actually make a good product? It's fucking crazy. When Don slapped me when they saved me, did it hurt as much as it looked? Yeah, it stung, but it was good because it was real. But yeah, it definitely stung. He's got these big beefy hands. It was definitely I definitely felt it. Oh yeah, Chaz, I definitely knew U68 very well. Not having cable. Yeah, I that's where I watched Uncle Floyd. I watched the Uncle Floyd show every day on U68. And also U68 had music videos. So you couldn't get MTV because there was no cable, but you could watch them on U68. So yeah, I have a lot of fond memories of U68. The UHF bandwidth overall, I would always like try to find like weird things on UHF channels. I've never seen Dumb and Dumber 2, but I know I remember watching a sizable chunk of it on like cable or something, and it looked terrible. Have my parents ever seen the video of me being rescued? No, they've never seen anything. That I no, they've oblivious to it. So yeah, Get Out being a place for social. Yeah, see, like that's different. Like Get Out is definitely a good movie that has social commentary. I don't see that movie as woke at all. I do think it's good. Now, some of his other movies, I do think fall into that category. I didn't see the last one, but I agree that Get Out's a good movie, and I don't look at it as like some woke movie at all. I think that's legitimate social commentary told in a very interesting way and well acted. It's a good. It's unfortunately I saw that on a plane, and I wish I didn't. I wish I would have saw it in a theater or at least at home. I saw it on a plane, and then about halfway through the movie, because I didn't want to see it, I had this preconceived notion about it, and I started watching it like on my tablet on a plane, and halfway through it I was like, I wish I didn't start this. I should probably see this in a better setting, but that's where I saw it. Yeah, it's funny, Tom. You mentioned I found the ball gag recently. I still have it. I was thinking of giving it to Perry to auction off or something like that because it's like signed by everybody, and I just have no real use for it. Yeah, I'm sure Get Out has a wokeness to it, but it just doesn't feel overtly woke like the way, like like things are now, where it's like in your face woke. Like it's just Get Out had other things going for it. It had a narrative, it had a story. It wasn't all about being woke. I could see what it is. But even like when they do these sequels, rebooting a series now, a TV series, like Resurrect, you live in fear of it. Like if they're bringing back something that you love, it's gonna be fucking woke. Look at what happened to Borat. Fucking they even made Borat, well, fake character, woke. I mean that's terrible. I mean it's just, what are you gonna do? Like people say that Star Trek Discovery series, and I like Star Trek, is all. I refuse to watch it. I won't watch it because I don't want to see woke Star Trek. Like that's not what Star Trek is. Eventually there'll be a revolt. There'll be somebody will realize that there's money to be had in going the other way, and bring back more things that don't fit the woke platform. The one thing I live in fear of, I have a feeling, not a feeling. I mean, a lot of people do. This isn't a big take, but I have a feeling that next James Bond movie that keeps getting pushed back is going to be woke as fuck, and it's going to be stomach turning. How much crack did Perry smoke not to remember Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Yeah, really. You would figure that'd be right in his wheelhouse too. Yeah, on the plus side, though, it's really cool to see that chicks can kick ass too. And I always hated that against all these movies. Like, oh, yeah, now the woman's taking over. It's like, well, we've had that for years. There's been really badass women in film, forever. It's just, now you got to put a spotlight on it. I almost feel like it lessens it when you do films like Terminator, Dark Fate, or whatever, where like the women are the leaders. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I knew going in it was going to be terrible. But there's a line in that movie where like it reveals like John Connor is no longer the leader or something. It's this woman, and she's like somebody's like I don't need some man to tell me how to lead or something like that. And it's like, oh my god, fuck you. And then you get what's her name in there? Linda, whatever her name is, Sarah Connor. I forget her name. It's late, but like she was badass in Terminator 2, and now she's in there as if we're pretending that there was no badass in women before these movies. Like, how insulting that is that to fucking like Sigourney Weaver, who was an alien, for fuck's sake, and nobody talks about that. Nobody talked about it at the time because we didn't make a big deal out of it. Fucking play Metroid. When you play it to the end and you realize that Samus, the person that you've been playing the entire game, takes off the helmet and it's a fucking woman. And I remember being a little perturbed at that when I was a kid, but then I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. No big deal. But now, if they made that game now, it would be all about, I am woman, hear me roar bullshit. So, yeah. Buddy Nugs, you're the only token progressive hippie in the group? I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything progressive, conservative, whatever. I think a bad movie's a bad movie. And I don't think wokeness for the sake of being woke is good for any kind of fictional narrative. See, if the next James Bond, if he's not a white British guy in the next James Bond, then it's not James Bond, it's somebody else. It's a spin-off. You got to respect the canon of the character. You got to respect the creation. You got to respect the creators of these characters. Whether it's George Lucas or Ian Fleming. James Bond is depicted as mid-30s, dark hair and blue eyes, and you can take certain liberties with that, like making him blonde, but you can't go to that extreme where it's. I can't imagine. The next Indiana Jones movie is going to be woke trash. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, how could you get any worse than that last Indiana Jones movie, though? Linda Johnson, that's who it was. Yeah. Linda Johnson from Terminator 2. Right. Amy says it right. Terminator is a great example. Linda Hamilton was badass, and we all accepted it because it wasn't thrown, shoved down your throat. And that's what it is. We accepted it because she was fucking badass, and it didn't matter that she was a woman because they didn't make a big, they didn't hammer it home. They didn't like bash you over the head with it. What IP will I follow? There's no IP that I'd follow to death because Star Trek, Bond, Perry, they're all going to disappoint you at one point or another, and you might have to jump ship. Yeah, great examples of badass women in movies. Alien, Halloween, Terminator. We can go on and on. There's a lot of them. And then all of a sudden, like in the past 10 years, it's like, oh, women are going to get their shake and they're going to kick ass. Fuck off. No update on Linda's cats, but we'll get there. I got to contact Linda at some point. Am I going to do a DNA test with Perry? Yeah, I would. I'd like him to do a 23andMe. I don't know if Alien was written for a man. That could be, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You just put it. You know, she's so great in that movie. She's great. Well, I'll say both movies because I won't even qualify the Alien 3 and 4, but yeah. $35 to fill my cheeks with cotton balls and do a Martin Freeman impression. Ugh. God, he's so boring. Does anybody get offended by that opinion that any Martin Freeman fans that think I'm off base? I just think he's so bad. I don't know why. He's such a like there's so many other people that should be punching bags that you could hate more. But there's something about Martin Freeman that really bothers me. I hate watching a movie from like 10 years ago and then seeing somebody that was hot for like 5 minutes because they were in some fucking TV show. I'll tell you who I don't love either is that B.J. Novak, who was big from The Office. And if you watch Inglourious Basterds, the Tarantino movie, he's in that. He's only in that because The Office is popular, and I just would have thought Tarantino would have more, I don't know, wherewithal not to do stunt casting, and I felt like that was stunt casting. It just bothers me when I see him in it because I just think of The Office. And I'm not even that big of a fan of The Office, to be honest. Yeah, Martin Freeman was good in The Office. Okay, I forgot that he was even in that. Yes, I'll give you that. He was good in The Office. That's it. Maybe good in that stupid Sherlock, but I hate that show. But he didn't get Martin Freeman didn't get big after The Office. He got big after doing Sherlock, I think. In terms of big like Hollywood movies, British movies we won't even talk about. I don't like Jonah Hill either. I don't like him either. I don't like Jonah Hill, and I don't like that other guy. Who's that other? Fuck, I can't think of his name. Seth Rogen. Can't stand Seth Rogen. Why the hate for Sherlock? Because it's fucking horrible. And I don't mind the first one, and then the seasons went on. They got more and more ludicrous. And I hate when you see something like a TV series or even a film series where they get in love with themselves because they buy into their own success. And Sherlock, over the seasons, and we put that in quotes because the British have like fucking 4 episodes per season. As it got more popular, the show gets more self-indulgent and in love with itself, and you can see it. You see it in the acting, you see it in the writing, you see it in the production, you see it in every aspect of it. The storyline, it's just ludicrous. But the early ones were okay. But it got completely carried away with itself. I liked the U.S. Sherlock Holmes show, Elementary, which was kind of a run-in-the-mill show, like very procedural and everything. But I actually liked that way better than the British version. Yeah, I agree. Judd Apatow fucking blows. Can't stand him. I like there's plenty of British stuff I like, but except their movies and their TV shows. That's not true. I like a lot of British movies. I'm being a bit of a dick, but not a Seth Rogen fan at all, but I remember being surprised at how good Observe and Report is. Yeah, look, you're going to get a bad actor in a good movie every now and again. Just by accident, it's like even a broken clock is right twice a day theory. You're gonna see somebody you don't like in a good movie every now and again. Like Tom Arnold in True Lies. Whoever saw that coming. Tom Arnold was this big. It was a fucking joke. Roseanne's new husband, who was like all over tabloids and stuff, just a complete loser. Then all of a sudden he's co-starring with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in a James Cameron movie, and everybody liked him because he was good in it. There are some British things I like. Not their food, movies, TV, women, teeth, or culture, or anything, style, or anything else. But yeah, I do. I don't know. I should probably stop talking. I'm just gonna shut up now. Yeah, Tom Arnold kills it in True Lies, but he's not in anything else that's any good. Actually, that's not true. I liked him in Austin Powers. He has a small scene in Austin Powers. He's good in that. But I remember going to True Lies and seeing Tom Arnold and hating him. He's fucking great in that movie. You can't even picture anybody else in that movie. He's so good in it. It's crazy. How is he even cast in that movie? Does anybody know that story? How is Tom Arnold cast in True Lies? That is insane. Thinking about it now, it's insane. It's all these years later. The Stupids, remember? God, talk about a guy, like, there's so many actors like this that have a big movie, and then they follow it up with crap and completely ruin themselves. Like, Cuba Gooding Jr. comes to mind. Cuba Gooding Jr. has Jerry Maguire, and just never picked the right roles after that movie. Garbage after garbage, to the point now where he's a joke. You know, I'll tell you, there was that one movie with Tom Arnold that kind of liked, because it was on HBO all the time, and I would see it. It's one, I think it's Rick Moranis' last movie, or one of his last movies. It was called Big Bully, where Rick Moranis and Tom Arnold play, like, you know, adversaries, but as adults. But as kids, Tom Arnold was the bully to Rick Moranis, but now Rick Moranis has a son who is a bully to Tom Arnold's kid, who's like a nerd. And I don't know, I kind of thought it was remotely funny, kind of, when I saw it at like 3 a.m. on HBO. So I'll give him credit for that too. I don't know what year that came out. I think Big Bully is like Big Bully, maybe 2000. No, sorry, 1996. Favorite sports movie is The Natural. Is my favorite sports movie, but mostly baseball movies. Also Major League, and a number of other movies, but The Natural would be number one. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. When Roseanne confronted Tom Arnold on the phone on Stern, I remember listening to that live. Do you like Werner Herzog films? Yeah, some of them. Do I ever wonder where DSP's crony gets the stuff he throws? You know, it's funny. There's a guy that we know who does it, but there's some guy that threw over shit on Perry's terrace yesterday that is not the usual guy who does it, and I don't know who it was. So it was kind of like off book, you know. So it wasn't the guy that usually does it. No, I don't think it's actually Darkside Phil that does that. But he's become a great adversary. You know, just for Perry doesn't know. I had no idea who Darkside Phil was before, Perry started talking. It became a thing on here. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Like fertilizer over is like it's just strange. Like usually, if someone's going to attempt to do something with Perry, whether it be something on his something harmless or whatever, they usually have the courtesy of hitting me up and clearing it or asking. But this wasn't one of those things. It was weird. In fact, we were doing cameos last night, And like I said on the stream, when Perry does his cameo, like, you know, I don't trust him to send in cameos because he'll just mail it in or be like half dead. So I have to monitor every single cameo from day one, and basically I just zoom in on his computer. I'll just watch it, and I'll watch him do it. I'll send him the whatever he needs to say for the cameo, where he pulls it up on his phone, but the text is usually too small, so he prints it out. And I'll watch him do it, and like, okay, nope, do it again. You got the guy's name wrong. Do it again. No, low energy. Nope, do it again. You're not reading it. He's not talking about you. He's talking about his brother. Whatever the fucking case it could be. It takes forever. I've come to hate Cameo in a lot of ways because it's just torture. But anyway, so we were doing one. It was somebody's birthday, or whatever, and he right when he turns off the video, the second he turns it off, he leaps up and runs over to the terrace. He starts screaming out the door. He's like, "Hey, you motherfucker! Hey, you motherfucker!" And I was like, "Oh man!" Part of me was like, "Oh, I wish you were still recording the video for the cameo. That would be a great outtake." But just missed it, and I thought it was this guy, and then I was a little disappointed. I was like, "Wait a second! He usually clears it. He clears it with Hero, and then through me, but this was just a random, and it was just like, yeah, fertilizer or something. So I don't know who it was. Just weird. I don't know who it was. Could have been somebody in his building, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna guess it was a fan. But it's just the timing of it was weird since I was connected to him at the time. Yeah, someone went rogue, is the way to put it, which is not good. And Perry took video of it. I haven't seen it, but I'm not even gonna do anything with it because, actually, let me see if I have it. I could show you guys here, but I'm not gonna put it up on Patreon or anything because I don't want to give this guy any play because, I just thought it was weird that he did it. Let me see if I have it. I think I got it from him today. I just want to, so I don't have to dig for it. Let me see if I have it. If I have it, I'll show it. He sent me so many videos lately because he's been recording on it. They're not all gems, but I think I got it. Fuck. Oh yeah, here it is. I do have it. Hang on. So take a moment to load in. Here we go. Yeah, so I haven't seen this. I'm gonna.
And here's the last new bit of fucking shit that has been laid on my patio. Fertilizer. 2 bags of fucking 50-pound bags of fucking fertilizer. I go to pick up the bag on top and it starts going everywhere. So yeah, thanks, you fucking piece of dog shit. Look, I'm done with your garbage and I'm gonna find a way to fucking sue your stupid ass. Piece of fuck. Or put you out of business completely. Cunt cocksucker. Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Good day.
Yeah, so okay, there's nothing really there anyway, but that's kind of messed up. If somebody just threw that over it broke. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't know. It's weird that I don't know who that was. Yeah, we need to start. Yeah, Belushi suit. We need to start paying Trevor to protect Perry. No shit. Yeah. But also in a weird way though, he's ridiculously unfazed to these things. Because if that would happen to one of us, we'd be completely freaked out. Like, what the fuck? You know, somebody threw that on my patio. I mean, you couldn't do it on my patio because I'm on the 4th floor. But like, that's crazy. You know, and it's just another Thursday to him. What's the latest on Christina? Well, I'll tell you, if we're keeping it between ourselves, he's actually talking to his daughter again via email. I don't like bringing her up on the stream because she's entitled to her private life, but he's actually, you know, talking to her a little bit, which I think is nice and good for him. Where does Adult Swim rank in my Perry restoration plan? Very high, because he has to do this. He has to get, this is his first role, major role since Windy City Heat. And I think if this goes over well, and I think they'll push him pretty good when the episode airs, you know, on social media. It could be good for the channel, and it could be good for getting him other work. So yeah, it's cool. I actually, you know, I've reached out to his daughter many times, and you know, I actually did it right around the time where he left the witnesses, and because I know she didn't like, one of her issues with him was the witness stuff, and I just wrote her a little brief thing, not to be very careful with that, because you know, I don't want her. I don't know. I don't want to blow up her stuff or anything, or make her feel uncomfortable. But I just basically told, hey, you know who I am, and your dad would really like to hear from you. He's going through this issue now. It's hard for him where he's left the Jehovah's Witnesses. And to her credit, she reached out to him, sent him an email, and they've had a few back and forths. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not like it's this whole thing, but you know, it's communication, which is something that he didn't have, and I know it made him really happy, and made me happy too. So, you know, we'll see. Amy might be another story. I don't think he's getting in. I don't think he's getting back in touch with Amy. You imagine? But yeah, but if he ever brings up his daughter on the stream, I shut him down right away. I don't think she deserves that, and I don't, you know, there's just certain fans that don't understand the line. You know, I would never want her to be, and I think she has been, you know, at various points on like social media, hit up by his. She doesn't deserve that. She didn't ask to be thrown into that thing. But yeah, I'd like him to meet his grandkids now at this point too. It'd be nice, but you know, baby steps. We'll get there. I'm happy that he's talking to her. You know, but I would never say that on the actual stream, because I just don't want to give people the green light to, you know. Some people just see a good thing in Perry's life, and they feel like that's their chance to destroy it, or you know, they have to fuck with it in some way. It's just it's weird, you know. You make the mistake in life of thinking everybody thinks the way you do logically, and then you realize people don't. Especially with this thing. But yeah, it's a nice thing. But there's some things, you know, it's some things that I'd like to keep private, so we'll keep that between ourselves. If it comes up somewhere else, you know, just, you know, don't you know, if somebody comes up in like Facebook like, oh, do you think Perry will ever get, like, you know, don't write like, oh, well, Tom said on the After Hours stream that he's, you know. So most of the things we talk about here we'll keep in house. Circle of trust thing. I'm sorry to hear that, Dank. Hope it works out for Perry. I haven't talked to my dad in over 10 years. Perry's story is sad, but I think he is becoming a better person that deserves another chance. Yeah, I think people deserve second chances. Yeah, his role on Adult Swim is legit. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, but yeah, he's definitely legit. It's a real role. The show is called Smiling Friends, and I could say that because Perry flashed the script last week. Yeah, we're still live, bro. What are we? But I'm seriously gonna call it here in about 2 minutes. Cause I gotta get to bed. I got so much shit I gotta do before I leave for LA. Wait, what are we talking about? I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. I'm sorry that you have to be saddled with a father who's an asshole. That's fucking sucks. What was the thing with his truck being on fire? Am I missing something? The SWAT. Oh yeah, the fire. Sorry, I'm out of it. Yeah, the fire thing. I did. I thought I missed a major element. Like, was Perry's truck ever set on fire? Where was I with that? Yeah, that was a dick move. Yeah, the fire. I'm like, what fire? Like, am I having a memory lapse or something? What am I doing for Memorial Day? I don't know. I'm probably just prepping for it. I leave the next day, so I'm probably just gonna be packing and prepping for the trip and shit and doing work. So nothing exciting. But the thing that came, all good comes out of missteps, right? So I definitely learned from mistakes. I definitely learned from experiences. And the thing with the swatting, we had already registered him. But I had him go down to the police precinct. I talked to the fire department. I talked to the fire department dispatch. It really just forced me to get all the ducks in a row so that kind of thing didn't happen again. And and if it does happen again, how to handle it. So I talked to the local Reseda PD, and their sergeant called me. He was really cool. And they actually pay visits to Perry periodically now. They know who he is. They're on he's on the radar. Same thing, So if there's a call through 911 dispatch, that'll be handled okay, because the guy who called the fire department went through a different not like he didn't call 911. He called the fire dispatch, which is a different system. But now I've registered now with him with them too. So I feel like I have the bases covered. But it's just the way it's. Look, the more this blows up, you're gonna get people in here that don't know the line, and it's just yeah. Tim, you can send Perry whatever you want to the new address. I mean, they'll hold it for him, and he'll have to pick it up in a couple of days. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't send him stuff like the guy who sent him all those UPS. Not UPS, USPS, like flat mailers. Like, I wouldn't send something like that to the new address, but yeah, you can send whatever you want. Right, so Smiling Friends is not live action, but his part is live action. So it's one of those things where the cartoons, he is real, and he's going to be shooting on a green screen. It'll be interesting. It's very Perry, the character. yes, it was a good stream tonight. You should check out the replay. It was very good, I think. Yeah, I agree with Amy again. Like, I don't blame new fans necessarily either, and a lot of them have been cool, but some people just are. Yeah, they don't know where the line is. You know, I mean, I can name a couple of them by name, but yeah, it's definitely old school. Like, I don't get the mechanic thing. I never got it. I never thought how that was funny on any level. I just don't get it. You know, it's just like, why? Like, if that was, fuck, I can't imagine like that being funny. It just, I never got it. But especially in the context of the stream, like, I don't know, it's so weird how you could sway that to be funny. But just certain sensibility, you know, this thing attracts different people, different sensibilities. Yeah, so that's a good point. Like, hopefully PCL fans can give the show a boost. Yeah, so when the show comes to air, like that episode, it would be great if everybody can just retweet it. Like, I can't wait to see Perry, because they're actually, the creators are open to have him be a reoccurring character, possibly. So it would be very cool when that comes out, if like people can just, like, you know, tweet all positive things, like, you know, everybody tune in, watch it live if you have cable, you know, record it or whatever. How do we dual stream? Well, just Streamlabs dual streams. But yeah, we're on the cusp of partnership, actually, and if that happens, we're probably going to go Twitch only for the live streams, and not just YouTube for the archives. I think I got to read the terms of service for partnership for Twitch, but I don't think part of it, I don't think, is you can live stream. It has to be exclusive to Twitch Live. I think I'd have to look at it. Yeah, still here. Yeah, I think it would be. I think all the Adult Swims are available on, like, YouTube. You know, not YouTube. iTunes and Amazon and that kind of shit. Yeah, the shop vac had a few lines. Well, it's funny because this offer came in like right when the streams kind of were gaining popularity. I think like just after New Year's, and his character is actually based around fast food. He plays a fast food owner, like an owner of like a really dirty fast food place. So that's kind of where it went, and you know, maybe they would incorporate other things like the shop vac should his character come back. But we'll see. It won't be this season. And I really hope he hits it out of the park. Boy, Johnny, I feel sorry for you. I'm always sleeping when the stream is on, so you only catch this shit? Wow, sorry about that. Does HBO Max have Adult Swim? I don't know. I don't really watch Adult Swim too much, but I'm gonna start because they've been good to us. Okay, 8 hours and 25 minutes. I think this is where I kill it because I'm starting to fade. So I'll end it here, so I can get about 5 hours of sleep. And thanks for all the diehards for hanging in. You know, it's weird when I look at the numbers of the people that are still on. You know, we still have over like 200 people. It's crazy that people are just literally just watching a screen with chat comments. There's some people that can't get 100 and over 100 people on their best day, you know, let alone at 5 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. When I look at myself in the mirror. Something I'm trying not to do lately. How can anybody still listen to the wrap-up show? You gotta be fucking... Is that still a thing? The Howard Stern wrap-up show? Yeah, I'm still outroing Kumia. That's actually really funny. I feel like I'm riding on Perry's... It's not all me. I'm definitely riding on Perry's coattails here, for sure. I'm not delusional. But it's fine. I like our... We'll work on making these better. These after-hour streams. You know, you got to give me like a month or so before I have everything set up. I'll get camera and we'll do like Skype calls and stuff. Maybe play more clips. Maybe we can like group watch clips and shit like that. You're a huge fan of the wrap-up? You mean the Howard Stern wrap-up show? I'm surprised. You can't mean that. We will do the live stream of Perry sleeping at some point. I'll get more cameras in there. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure out the whole setup. I don't have time to do all that setup this trip, but one of the next trips I will. Oh, Simply Don, the wrap-up show, yeah. Well, I only did that to really just do the Perry stuff. And then I kind of fell into a thing of doing it a little more than I wanted to. But I was only really interested in doing it with Perry. John Hine. I don't know. I used to like John Hine when he first started on the Stern Show, but man, you got to feel bad for him. He's got to talk up this show that's fucking awful. Can we get a Perry robot like Paulie had in Rocky IV? You know, I heard that they're doing a director's cut of Rocky IV that Stallone is working on. It's coming out later in the year. And one of the things they did was cut out the robot. They cut out Paulie's robot. That was one of the things. They're also rescoring it, which I thought was interesting. What made me connect with Perry again? Which time do you mean? How much are they paying me to record Naked and Afraid at Perry's? Oof, can you imagine? I always wonder, like, Simply Don, the wrap-up show, like, how many people got the joke that it was, like, satirical to the Howard Stern wrap-up show? Because I don't, like, if you don't have that context, I don't understand how that's funny. One of the things they do in Rocky IV, I saw it in the arena, which Rocky IV is kind of like an '80s music video, really. Is they're cutting out the score, which I always found like a little too synthy in '80s, and they're redoing it with the Bill Conti score, the original Bill Conti score, which I don't know has ever come out. So I'm actually interested in seeing that, because I'm always interested in a director's cut that drastically changes the original concept. So it should be interesting. The whole streaming I did, trust and respect that it would take off. I didn't know if Perry could do it, the streaming thing. You know, that was just a thing that I did on a whim, because, you know, jokingly he set up the OnlyFans thing, and they had a live streaming feature, and I thought, why not? You know, let's try it out for like the 100 or so people that were on there at the time. I don't even remember how many people, maybe more than that, but You know, I don't. It's something that I thought about for years that he could do on his own. Sitting, if he's sitting his home on his own, he can make a living doing that, if he could do it. And I didn't know if he could. And then, like we've talked about, you know, that first stream when you watch it, I think people were tuned in, waiting for it to be a disaster, and maybe end after 10 minutes or so. But he stayed on for hours, and I don't know how long that was, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and was engaging and kind of knew how to do it. You know, and he definitely needed help and assistance, but you know, and then the first food delivery came, and we were off, and then he tripped and spilled his chili all over his wall. And I think everybody kind of like, okay, this works. This is gonna work. This is good. My favorite NES game of all time has to be, I'm going to be basic bitch and say Super Mario Brothers, because it's the game that I fell in love with. Outside of that, all the Nintendo like first party games, The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, you know, obviously Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm trying to think of games like, you know, in Castlevania. I'm trying to think of outside, you know, all the Konami games, Contra. You know, I'd have to really think about that, but I definitely the first Super Mario Brothers probably. Barry needs an intern. He does. So do I. Yeah, here we are, right, Amy? Like, yeah, I kind of, I went into it very panicked, like this isn't gonna work, but it'll be an interesting disaster and a footnote. And now, you know, 6 months later, here we all are, after an 8-hour stream. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch Perry's first ever stream. It's on his YouTube channel. You have to find it. It's labeled as his first stream. Oh yeah, DuckTales is so good. I love DuckTales. First DuckTales, not DuckTales 2. That wasn't as good. You know, it's funny. Speaking of Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, whatever, however you say it, I just beat that in the arcade last Saturday. I was with my sister, and there was there's this retro games expo at this museum here in Long Island. And you know, it's like $7, and they had it on a like Saturday night, and it's all these old games, like crazy games that you don't even really see in arcades normally, like Pong, the original Asteroids, and it goes through all the years. But anyway, they had Ninja Gaiden there, and it's free play, so we just played to the end. I never finished it before, so that was fun. What app game do I play these days? I don't. What do you mean, like apps on the phone? I don't play any phone games at all. I play the Switch. Yeah, California Games is another good game. I think it's cool too. Yeah, thank you, Damien. Congratulations with the success so far. It's good. I think the momentum is kind of, you know, I thought it would be bigger by now, just the way it was going, you know, early on. I feel like the next mountain to climb is 1,000 viewers, and then once, you know, he gets, you know, more people need to discover it, and more people will. And then it'll be a different vibe. I know a lot of people watch it that just don't ever chat, and they don't ever they don't send in comments or anything like that. They just kind of lay back. But that's the case too in anything, right? Like even like the Facebook group. There's you know 600 something people in there, and only like what 30, 40 people actively participate. Some people just like to sit back. And I hear from those people, they'll write me like, oh, I'm shy, I never comment, I never participate, but I love the stream, you know, blah, 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 blah. I love this. I've never not owned a Nintendo console since the NES, so I feel obligated to have everyone. Tom, I was interested in how fast did Perry knock out his Twitch achievements when he first he fucking blazed through them. I mean, there's all these Twitch things like stream for a certain amount of hours, check, do this, check. He hits all the check marks. I have the regular Switch. I'm not a portable gamer. I never played the Switch portably. In fact, if they did a version of the Switch that was just a dock, like to the TV with no screen, I would buy that in a heartbeat. I never use it. Belushi, I never talked originally now. This is like the main avenue my money. Well, I appreciate that, Belushi. You're definitely top VIP level. You're one of the absolute lifebloods of the channel. I mean, if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't be the same. So I'm glad that you are talking now and participating. It's definitely it'd be a detriment to the stream if you didn't, because you're very creative and you're very good, and you know what makes this work, and maybe even more than I do at this point. What's my least favorite Facebook group fan? I couldn't pick. I don't have a problem. I really don't have a problem with anybody. I have nobody like I can say that, oh, I don't like this guy. I like anybody that supports this channel and supports these streams. I love. I really don't. There's even some people that I've had problems with in the past that now I don't. I really have no enemies list as far as people. Why would I not like somebody that's supporting this channel? Even the people that go too far sometimes, I still like, they just need a little bit of direction, but I still like them. I mean, how can I not like anybody that supports something that you do? I have no ill will or negativity towards anybody that joins us on these streams. I really obsess. I'm not obsessed, but I really love this. I really love the community that we've built out of this. Just the streams alone. I think it's a nice, as wholesome as this thing can get. And and again, such a huge majority comes out of your content. The offers that you give me, and I can only work with what I'm giving. There's certain things that we do. Otherwise tonight we didn't think about. You take the offers off the table. You take the tip comments off the table. You're watching Perry opening mail. I get on Discord sometimes. I don't have the time to be on it a lot, but I'm on. I do check in. I'll be checking it. I'll check in more often when things calm down for me. Pat Moriarty. I like Pat Moriarty. I like the obscure fake names. But I think we're all good people. And I think it'll be fun if we ever do a live event. And even like the new people that join in, I don't know where it would be. I said New York tonight, but I don't know where it would be. Maybe it's Vegas, maybe it's somewhere. I think it'd be really cool if we all like got together and did like a live thing. Now I don't know what a live Perry Caravello live thing would be like, but I think we'd have a good time. You love me embellishing on the offers. Yeah, I think you gotta, it's like work. You almost got to be partners with the people that send in the offers, because you got to work off what they give you. And I also go by Perry's immediate thing. When he starts getting off the chair immediately, I know it's like, okay, he's a little too eager to do this, so I got to make it a little more challenging sometimes. But again, I think some kind of live event would be cool. We'll see. Yeah, in real life offers. What's the best way to get a real creative brain sesh going? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like a think tank thing. Definitely not now because my brain is mush at the moment. I always say I'm not going to do this, but stay on late, but then I do. Can I do a 100-person Zoom stream? No, I'm so sick of Zoom. I'm so sick of Zoom fucking streams or whatever. It's just, they look horrible. I wonder what kind of a Perry event without any kind of antagonist would be like. Yeah, see, that's the thing is at a live event, Perry will be so happy to be. So you're gonna have to deal with happy Perry, and get some deliveries and stuff like that. But so it would have to be unique to the brand, but also exciting live. Yeah, everybody should have bought Zoom stock. Are you kidding me? Fuck. What's up, John? By the way, John sent me this week. He mailed me a video card for Perry's computer, and he talked it down. It's a pretty nice card. I know it's old, but it's a nice card. It's more than enough for him. I'm jealous of it. Actually, I have no card, and I know getting one. I've talked about this before. Is going to make this stream look a lot better and run better. But right now, I'm just running off the the motherboard. Good. I'm glad people like Happy Perry. I know some people don't like Happy Perry. I like Happy Perry. I like Happy Perry quite a bit, but I like to mix it up. I don't like miserable Perry. I don't like tortured Perry. Except when he's faking it, then that's different. You can get if you can help me get a card, I will lower my standards in all sorts of ways. But yeah, I've tried so many different avenues, but the stream really needs it. It's not like I don't play games really on my computer at all. It's more that it would be it would render the streams better. It would look better. It would it's just so frustrating. Yeah, he's a fast. I'm glad everybody's on the same page. Fuck. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go for reals. But thanks for hanging out, guys. And we'll see you on Sunday. Maybe tomorrow at some point. Maybe. Yeah, I live very close to a micro center, and I've gone in there, and it's just not. But yeah, if whatever the fuck, if you can snag a video card, obviously I'll pay you whatever. But yeah, it's just shit. Yeah, good night, guys. Thanks for hanging out. If you missed the stream, it'll be on Patreon Credenza tomorrow at some point. Auf Wiedersehen. Get some sleep, guys. Can you imagine me doing this when I'm at Perry's? I'll have to whisper. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the nice remarks.